Welcome inside Labatt Memorial Park, London Majors Baseball here on Majors TV.
Majors win! The Majors walk it up!
We're doing great. I feel amazing.
Hit well to left field. Going back. Do you believe it? He's hit it out. Marching towards third. Here's the relay from Hernandez. Not in time.
Change.
Well, good evening, folks, and welcome to beautiful Labatt Memorial Park, the home of the London Majors. Happy Canada Day to all those who are celebrating here this evening. And what a matchup that we have for you here today. The Barrie Baycats and the London Majors, two teams who are fighting for that number one seed. And although it's still quite early, the All-Star break is coming up, which means playoffs are coming up soon. The Barrie Baycats 13-6 on the season. They're 8-2 on the road. They have been a powerhouse. 38 home runs as a team, which leads the CBL. They have a team OPS of 918, even though they've lost two in a row. As for the London Majors, they're trying to bounce back after a couple of tough losses to the Hamilton Cardinals. But the best thing about the baseball season, there's a lot more games to go. So the Majors hoping to rebound and move on from that one as they head into this Canada Day matchup. But without further ado, let's send it up to the gentleman who will call this game, Baker and Justin Koehler. Gentlemen, welcome back. Take it away.
Evan, thank you. Good to be back, and no better day to do it. It's Canada Day here at Labatt Park. Dylan Baker alongside me, Justin Koehler. Justin, one of the best days on the calendar every year as the fans pack the ballpark for a fun night here at Labatt.
Tons in attendance today. Arguably one of, if not the biggest event here at Labatt Memorial Park. So much representation for Canada across the board, and it's always just a perennial game to watch. It's always good matchups, always great attendance. So the flair here at the ballpark is top of the game right now across the board.
Absolutely it is, Justin. Happy Canada Day to everybody watching at home. A great day to celebrate our great country, and no better way to do it than with this matchup we have in store today, Justin. Evan talked about it off the top. The two top teams in the CBL, the Barrie Baycats and the London Majors, facing off.
You can't really ask for any better on a day like Canada Day. It's going to be a tough matchup for both these teams, but one that I think is going to be incredibly exciting, not just for us in the booth, but everyone here, including everyone on the field as well. Great offenses, great pitching, some great defense. You see it there in the standings on your screen right now. It's just two amazing teams that have been neck and neck, it feels like, since day one, and I think we're going to really watch that play out here today.
Well, these two teams have matched up two times this season. The Majors have won both of those games, one of them being London's home opener back in May, the other one being a blowout victory for the Majors over the Barrie Baycats in Barrie. So the Majors are trying to keep the good times rolling when it comes to facing the Baycats.
Yeah, different thing can be said when it comes to keeping the good times rolling as of late. The Majors obviously coming off those two pretty tough losses, but what a time to turn things around, try and shift things back in your favor when you've got arguably one of the bigger attendances that you get here at your home stadium for Canada Day. I think it's a better chance than any for the Majors to try and turn things around.
Absolutely. You can play off the crowd, and they will need to, because the last couple of games have been less than ideal for this Majors ball club. They have struggled. They've put up one combined run in the two games. They've allowed 22 across those two contests against the Hamilton Cardinals in both cases. So the Majors have gone cold here at the hottest time of the year.
Yeah, part of that is you got to attribute a little bit to just how good Hamilton has been as of late. Really just have the Majors number. There's no other real way to put it. The Majors have the capabilities to get things done. It's just been tough in terms of getting momentum in the lineup, getting the pitching side to really line up with it as well. So it's been a little bit out of sync, I guess I would say, lately between the pitching and the offense and how they're bouncing off each other. But can always turn around in a flash. We know just how drastically things can shift in a season across the IBL, now the CBL, and anything can happen, especially on a day like Canada Day.
Won't be easy to turn things around against this Baycats group, Justin. We've talked about the record. We've talked about the success that they've had this year, sitting at 13-6. They've lost just two games on the road this year, as Evan mentioned. One of them coming in this ballpark to the majors, but the Barrie Baycats are a threat 1 through 9 in the lineup and certainly on the mound as well.
Well, like every team, they've had a few of their ups and downs, but as of late, over arguably their last kind of 10, 15 games, they've looked sharp, and all of that has started on the pitching side with Frank Garces, to say the least. He is arguably going to be one of the top All-Stars. We'll see how that ends up shaping out. But All-Star caliber pitcher, to say the least. 4-1 record, 333 earned run average, 784 Ks per 9. And really, when you look at these numbers between the matchup that we have today, it's pretty similar, which should make it a really, really fun game, but you can't say enough good things about Frank Garces this season.
Absolutely. Frank Garces has been terrific for the Barrie Baycats. Victor Payano on the other side for the Majors had a real strong bounce-back outing after a couple of dicier ones. He was terrific against Toronto last Friday night, looking to carry that momentum into this game. You want your ace to be a stopper, somebody who can buck the trend, somebody who could end this losing streak after a couple of tough losses to Hamilton on Sunday and on Tuesday. Victor Payano hopes to be that guy for the Majors. Frank Garces trying to get another crack at this Majors ball club because the last time he faced London was in Barrie and he didn't last more than an inning because of an ejection.
And sometimes that just comes down to the tensions. A lot of that comes down to just how competitive both these teams are as well, and just how competitive this league is as a whole. We've seen a lot of fun games. We've also seen some tensions flare up here and there as well. So ejections happen, suspensions happen, anything like that. It just shows how fun this league is this season. And I think these are two of the defining players when it comes to fun teams to watch here in 2026.
Well, a big matchup on the mound, a big matchup all around coming into today's game here at Labatt Memorial Park. So for more on that, our very own Evan Fredrickson caught up with Majors General Manager, Field Manager Roop Chanard pregame in today's Roop's Report.
Right now, the way our last few games go.
All right, I'm here with Jim and Quarter of the London Majors, Roop Chanard. Roop, as always, thank you so much for your time. You guys are coming off of a tough one yesterday, but like you've said before, it's a new day, and you guys have a chance to bounce back on Canada Day. How kind of special is it for you to play in front of the home crowd here this evening?
I got to start. First of all, happy Canada Day to everyone. We're lucky to be in this country. It's a great country. I love Canada. I love everything it's about, so we're fortunate to have that. So get that out of the way. It's a special day. You know what? You're playing Canada Day. Packed crowd. This has been a tradition for the Majors since we've taken over. So it's a really special day for us regardless of our opponent, and we got a great opponent today. So it's a special day for the players, everyone, sports staff, and also the fans. So we got to enjoy this day.
You've got Victor Payano on the mound. You're ace, and like you said, you're up against a really good Barrie team, the team that you're kind of competing with for that number 1 seed. What are your keys for him to have success here this evening?
For Payano, right now, the way our last few games go, we just need Payano to come out and have a good start, and that good start means the first couple innings and get into a rhythm and then roll from there. We need him to get through the first 2 innings. Obviously we've been touched up the last few games in the first couple innings, so everyone's looking for us to get out of those couple innings and get going. But we wouldn't pick any other guy than Payano to be on the hill. Big game, and he's a big game guy.
And lastly, what does your offense have to do to kind of get back on track against this very good Barrie team?
Our offense, I said, it starts with pitching and defense. And someone go, how's your offense start with that? We play good defense, we get good pitching, then we can do what we want offensively. Right now, we're trying to do things that we're not capable of doing. So for our offense to get going, it predicates on our pitching and defense.
Roop, as always, thanks so much. Happy Canada Day, and good luck tonight.
Thank you for having me.
So right off the bat, what's your least favorite food? Oh, you brought fish. Okay, I get that. What are some of your go-to foods that you love? Oh, more props. Great, wicked. Fruits and vegetables. Great pick. Incredibly important. I'm sure a lot of the London Majors will agree with you. I'm gonna have to have you clean that up, though. I'm not here to be a janitor.
Back now at Labatt Memorial Park, get a look at Cleveland Brownlee being introduced down at field level. The whole team introduced here on Canada Day, as per usual, by the Majors and public address announcer Eric Collins. Justin, we are in for what will be a great game, but also it's probably my favorite day on the CBL calendar every year. You know that there's going to be a good crowd in the ballpark. There are fireworks after the game, and a little rain not stopping anything here today.
Yeah, we've already somehow gotten a little bit of everything, especially when it comes to the weather. It was a little dicey there for a good chunk of time before we got going, but everything's all sunny, everything's all beautiful. Really cool things down here as well in London, Ontario, and beautiful day so far. Some great jerseys, some great teams, a great audience here. It should be a whole lot of fun.
Absolutely, Justin. The Majors wearing specialty jerseys for Canada Day. As you can see on your screen, they're standing with the U9 London Talons. Shout out to the London Talons down at field level. You mentioned the temperature. It felt like 46 degrees here in London. It was up around 35, feels like 46 here at Labatt Park. Not the case anymore. 23 feels like 30 down at field level, albeit it is a little bit muggy here in the press box, but it's turned into a great night for baseball, and we're hoping that the game will match just that.
Yeah, you mentioned the muggy side up here. You could definitely say that again. I think all of us were getting prepped, us and the players on the field, for a toasty day here in London. Obviously, the players are prepared for what should be a good game, a hot game, and hopefully we see that heat reflect on the field as well. It's a lot of potential, I guess I would say, in today's game with what we can expect between pitcher duels, between the offenses, and it should be a riot across the board. I think what bigger of a game that you can get on a big day, a big crowd. Not much more to say besides just how much fun this game is going to be. I hope everyone at home is going to have a lot of fun, whether you're here at the ballpark or enjoying some air conditioning or some fans wherever you are as well. But in any case, it should be a really good matchup.
Absolutely envious of those people enjoying this game in some air conditioning and some fans. You got to look at Victor Payano, who will take the mound here on Canada Day for the Majors once again this year. Big game means the Majors go to their big guy, and that is Victor Payano, as it has been for the last number of seasons. Payano on the bump here on Canada Day and hoping to treat this crowd to quite the show as they face off with the Barrie Baycats. Wanted to also take a moment to mention the Law Enforcement Special Olympics Torch Run, which is normally a staple here at Labatt Park every year. They come in down Riverside Drive carrying the torch. It's meaningful to a lot of people. Could not happen this year due to the heat and the weather conditions. So thinking about them and wishing they were at the ballpark with us here today. Well, it's Canada Day, so we will throw it down to field level now. Sandasha Bao interpreting today's national anthem here at the Forks of the Thames.
In your hearts, all those serving, past and present, military, first responders, frontline healthcare workers, all those who truly help to keep our country strong and free. Sarah Beal, who's singing tonight.
Majors fans, please welcome to the field Sergeant Sandasha Bao of the London Police Service, here to perform our anthem today. A dedicated officer since 2000, Sergeant Bao currently serves in the Corporate Communications and Media Relations Unit with 26 years of service and a familiar voice in the community. We're proud to have her lead our anthem tonight. Everybody give Sandasha a warm welcome.
Say
Beautiful rendition of the national anthem there by Sandasha Bow, and we are nearly set for baseball here on Canada Day. So good to be alongside you, Dylan Baker, Justin Koehler here in the broadcast booth at the Forks of the Thames at Labatt Memorial Park. Evan Fredrickson is down at field level. You will hear from him throughout our broadcast tonight. Sunny skies and a beautiful evening for baseball here at Labatt Park is what it has turned into after a blip of rain earlier on. The Majors taking on the Barrie Baycats today, and Justin, we get a look at their starting lineup.
It's pretty solid, to say the least, especially as of late, and it all gets going with the likes of Kenisi Cho over in center field, Edgar Figueroa over in right, Francisco Hernandez over at second. That's followed up by Ryan Rio in the cleanup spot, DHing today. Nolan Macabrota at first, Hayden Jacko over at left field, Adamad over at third, Wandy Cyprian, the catcher for today, and then Brandon Hernandez at short. Those Hernandez brothers right in the middle of the infield there. Should be really good. Like I mentioned, as of late, they've been really, really sharp over the past 10 to 15, getting a lot of good contact, some solid hits. Not always the long ball, some good small ball players on this squad as well. And I think it's just shown just how well-rounded the Barrie Baycats are, and it's really attributed to their first place spot here in 2026. So really, really good one, to say the least. But the guy who's going to be going up against them, Victor Payano, has also been pretty lights out so far this season, to say the least.
Absolutely, he has, Justin. You got to look at the numbers for Victor Payano as he salutes the home plate umpire, salutes the Barrie Baycats dugout, says hello. He's ready to go. A 338 earned run average, a 1.23 whip, 7.88 strikeouts per nine, 0.68 walks per nine. Payano did it a little bit differently in his last start. He's normally a strikeout guy. This season, we've seen him get outs in other ways, and an example of that was his most recent outing against the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah, he was getting a lot of kind of still solid contact, but a lot more lift up in the air. So a lot, relying a little bit more on the outfield defense in particular. But yeah, like you mentioned it, we were expecting quite a lot of strikeouts, particularly early on when his velocity is really catering to him. And that velocity hasn't gone anywhere. I'd argue that the velocity mixed with that curveball that he's got has been really, really spectacular this season. But yeah, been inducing a little bit more soft contacts, a little bit to the infield, but particularly getting some softer hits to the outfield, which is a little bit new for him. But it has been catering to his favor, and like you mentioned there, it really played in his favor for that game against Toronto, in what ended up being a bit of a lopsided one, to say the least. But I know Payano was pretty happy getting out of there.
It's been a few consecutive lopsided ones for the London Majors. They've not played many close games here as of late. Whether they want to curb that trend or whether they're content with a blowout victory today, that might be a different story. But the Majors have had, some exciting contests and some good games, if you like, offense here as of late, Justin.
Oh, 100%, without a doubt. Particularly here at home, the Majors have been doing really, really well this season. Their numbers on the road, a little bit dicier when they get into enemy territory, but at home in front of that hometown crowd, that support behind them, it's been quite a few bombshells, and not always on the long ball. We have been treated to some pretty exciting moments. That Starling Joseph Grand Slam comes to mind pretty quick, to say the least. But when they need to, they've got some good small ball. When they need to, they've got plenty of power in this lineup to get it out of the ballpark, and been putting quite a show for all the fans in attendance so far this season.
Well, it has been, as mentioned, an offensive stretch here as of late for the London Majors, and for teams in this ballpark over the past 4 home games, one team has scored double digits in each game. That was the Majors 3 times, and then it was Hamilton on Sunday. So the Majors trying to get back on the right side of that statistic here tonight. Kenisi Joe, the league leader in long balls, having a terrific season at the plate, steps into the batter's box. He will lead off this beautiful Canada Day ball game against Victor Payano, the lefty, ready on the rubber and set to deliver. First pitch misses for ball 1.
We knew there was going to be a whole lot of Canadian flair, to say the least, in today's game, from the jerseys to the hats of the Majors, all the way down to Ejo's cleats, it looks like right now, and that bat is pretty sharp as well.
1-0, Ejo waves at it, comes up empty. Got to look at the umpires on your screen just a moment ago. The home plate umpire and crew chief is Stephen Gomes. Jeff Stollard is over at first base, and Justin Snively is at third for today's game. The 1-1. Fouled straight back, and it's 1-2.
Ejo, one of the mainstays for the Baycats so far, been incredibly sharp as of late. In total, an average of 346 on the season so far. Over his last 10, sitting at 340. That equates to 17 for his last 50 in terms of at-bats. Slow down a little bit as of late over the past 5, swinging a 231 on the average, but just a lights-out player and a great one to get the lineup going.
1-2 high fastball from Payano. Ejo doesn't bite. Crowd was trying to cheer on their left-handed arm to get a punch out to kick off this ball game. The 2-2. Breaking ball. Ejo doesn't chase, just goes around the outside corner, and the count runs full.
I like the pitch there. Almost looked like there was a bit of sweeping action on that one. Kind of started high and away. Ended up trying to reach into the outer edge of the strike zone. Just didn't inch in forward enough. You almost saw Diolio try and frame that up for a second to try and get the call, but didn't go his way. And now we're looking at a full count.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Victor Payano gets the crowd into it right away. A strikeout of Kenisi Ejo to kick off this one.
Just as quick as we say that Payano has not been relying as heavily on the strikeouts this season versus other seasons, of course. What a way to get the game going than with a strikeout.
So a strikeout of Ejo there to kick this one off, and that will bring up Edgar Figueroa into the batter's box. Figueroa is the right fielder in today's ball game for Barrie.
Been pretty consistent so far. 266 average on the season so far. 250 over his last 5. 205 over his last 10. So he's gotten things back in the right direction after a bit of a cold stretch for a couple weeks there. Starting to get better bat-to-ball skills here as we start getting really into the middle of the 2026 season.
Payano sets. Left-hander delivers. Figueroa squares, takes a strike on a breaking ball, and it's 0-2.
Lovely pitch. Not a lot that you can really do with that if you're Figueroa when you look at the pitcher, the ball is thrown and it's coming right at you and then finds its way curving back into the zone. Almost buckled him up in the batter's box.
0-2 count here for Payano as he looks to make it back-to-back strikeouts to kick off the ball game. Popped up. On the infield, foul territory. Diolio and Lenahan after it. Lenahan into a slide. He caught it. Unbelievable. Trent Lenahan had to run a long way, and just above the grass, he makes the catch.
You know, for a guy who's played first base for a majority of the season, man, does Lenahan look sharp over at third. Almost did not think he was going to get it, but what a slide. What athleticism from him. What a great play from Trent Lenahan.
Trent Lenahan had to get every extra inch he could on that slide to make that catch and caught it as it was hitting the ground. Really impressive stuff from Lenahan there as Francisco Hernandez will step into the batter's box for Barrie.
What a way to get this game going.
So 2 quick outs for Payano. First pitch to Hernandez in the dirt. Skips back to the backstop. Not sure if we have a look at it, but home plate is a real interesting area right now for this game because of all the rain. They had one of the mats above the batter's boxes and the plate, so it's actually quite dry for the batters, but for the home plate umpire and the catcher, it's quite muddy back there because of all the damage that the rain did during batting practice. So a real disparity there as that one's scorched on the ground. Sliding stop Lenahan. Fires across the diamond and records the out. A couple of great defensive plays for Trent Lenahan at the hot corner, and the Majors are through a scoreless first inning.
We've talked endlessly about how good Lenahan is on the offensive side of this game. Some long balls, some great contact, but you got to give a good shutout defensively. What an impressive show. It is not an easy throw, especially getting it kind of backhanded like he did on that play there. Tough to turn around, get the accuracy going, get the velocity going to get that throw over towards first, but lights out. What an inning for Victor Payano, notably, and then also Trent Lenahan to really rile up this London Majors hometown crowd.
Well, Payano kicked off the ball game with a strikeout. Lenahan a sliding catch in foul territory and then a sliding stop down the third baseline to make a terrific defensive play. And the Majors are through The top of the first inning rather glamorously as they head to the bats now. Let's take a look at this starting lineup for the Majors, Justin, which features a heavy dose of right-handed hitters.
Oh, you can definitely say that again. That's been something that Rube Chandrad's really been leaning into is these righty-lefty matchups. Really caters well to get the game going. Then you've got those options coming out from the dugout when you need to and when some bullpen arms are thrown in. But yeah, what a lineup top to bottom. Michael Escato, the hits leader still so far this season. To get things going, he is over at short. Christian Anoa, the second baseman for today, following right up behind the big man himself, Trent Lenihan over at third, like we've seen a couple times already so far. Starling Joseph, the DH today. Eduardo Diolio behind the plate as usual. And then Tucker Zadunik in right. Jared Burney at center. Adam Thuss over in left. And then Xavier Whittle over at first base to round things out. A great lineup top to bottom. A lot of versatility. You've heard us say that endlessly so far in 2026. Plenty of power, plenty of contact, and been a lot of fun to watch so far this season.
Well, the Majors have 7 of 9 hitters in the order that are right-handed bats, including the entire top 5 in the lineup. Tucker Zadunik, the first left-handed hitter, and that's a lefty you're happy to have no matter what side the opposing pitcher is throwing from. Zadunik in the 6th spot, and then Adam Thuss in the 8th spot, facing the tough lefty in Frank Garces. 24 to third innings this season, a .333 earned run average, and looking for some redemption after he couldn't get out of the first inning against the Majors last time, was ejected due to a foreign substance in that game, and headed back to the mound today for the Baycats.
You know, his numbers have been pretty sharp so far this season. Obviously hard not to talk about what happened in that game against the Majors. But besides that, his number has been pretty clean. All-Star voting so far has really kind of catered in that direction as well. We'll see how all that shapes up. But we've got an ace versus an ace today. Some really, really sharp guys, and we'll see how it stands up today. We'll see if the heat becomes a factor on those arms. We'll see how active the bullpen is, just to give some of these pitchers a break as well. But you got to give it to Garces to get things off, and the guy that the Baycats are really, really trusting so far this season.
Michael Escato will step into the batter's box to lead things off against Frank Garces here. First pitch swinging, comes up empty. It's 0-1.
Escato's been sharp so far this season, a .418 average as a whole, and even as of late, it's been pretty consistent. Over his past 5, batting .455, over his last 10, .422. So, Mr. Consistent here for the London Majors.
Absolutely. Escato has gone deep a few times in this ballpark over recent weeks, has thoroughly enjoyed hitting in general this season in the CBL, but in particular at home.
Can definitely tell how much he enjoys it sometimes.
0-2, Escato chops this one foul, and so we'll try it again on no balls and 2 strikes. Garces with a few sponsor patches on those pants. Have not seen that before across the CBL.
Yeah, that's a new one. Good eyes there, Dylan.
0-2, Escato rolls over on this one. Brandon Hernandez charging it short on the run throw to first in time. There's one away here in the home half.
Bit of tough contact. Not a lot that you can do with that one. Good pitching from Garces. Good throw from Hernandez over there to get that out. Good shout out to Escato to try and hustle that one out. Could have easily given up halfway on that jaunt over towards first, but made that one a lot tighter than it could have been over at first base.
Christian Anoa into the batter's box here for the Majors. Number 2 hitter for London in this one. Hits this one hard, but right at Brandon Hernandez once again at shortstop. He, like Lenihan, busy in the first inning, and there's 2 away.
Got to give you a nice boost of confidence if you're Hernandez over there to get the game going. Obviously been pretty sharp so far this season defensively, and really gets you involved in the game when the first 2 guys that you see going right over towards you. Some easy throws for him as well to make this 2 outs.
Trent Lenihan into the batter's box now for the Majors. Couple of great defensive plays in the top of the first inning, looking to make an impact with the offense here. Swings through that one. It is 0-1.
It was a good off-speed one from Garces there. Try and get Lenihan a little bit in front of it. Was definitely a little bit antsy on the swing, a bit early there, but good pitch mix that we've seen so far.
The 0-1. Lenihan late on that one. Fouls it off. It's 0-2.
Try and slow Lenihan down. Try and speed him up there. Saw Garces give a little nod to himself at that swing. Obviously Lenihan a little bit early on it, then a little late on it. Going exactly the way Garces has kind of painted it in his head.
Get a look at the OPS leaderboard of the CBL right now. Lenahan sitting third, waves it. That one comes up empty. So a strikeout for Garces to complete a quick first inning for the Baycats left-hander. Scoreless after one here at Labatt Park. You're watching the Majors and Baycats here on Canada Day on Majors TV.
We got this, united, step it up, keep on thriving, we trying, keep shining, living in a world where we colliding.
When we're together, amazing things happen. Feel what it means to be greater together.
Obviously, the city loves you. The city adores you. You're a fan favorite across the board. How is it dealing with that much pressure, being in that celebrity spotlight everywhere you go?
Perfect. That's good enough.
How do you stay so fit and lean on a regular basis? Nice. I like that. Running's very important. Cardio. I'm not confident on what that is. Oh, yeah, there you go. I can appreciate that one, 100%. And I guess last personal tip, everything aside, how do you keep the beard so nice and well shaved consistently? I can never seem to get as good a one as you. Like, are you talking like a cream or an oil, something like that? Okay, perfect. I incredibly appreciate your time. Thank you so much for talking with me today. Excited for the season, huh? Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Get ready, Chatham Kents. For the first time ever in the new Canadian Baseball League era, the 2026 All-Star Showdown is landing at Fergie Jenkins Field on the July 11th and 12th weekend. The All-Star weekend of the new CBL era. It's history in the making.
Back now at Labatt Memorial Park. Headed to the top of the second inning here on Canada Day. No score between the London Majors and the Barrie Baycats. Ryan Rio will step into the batter's box for Barrie. Couple of quick innings for both lefty arms in the first.
Yeah, you can definitely say that again. A bit of defensive reliance in the first one for Victor Payano. Some great efforts there from Trent Lenahan, but a good effort across the board. We were saying before the game got going how even these teams are, not just in the standings, but in terms of how they play. The pitching matchup for today, the offensive matchup for today. We've seen a bit of defensive flair from both so far, so it really goes to show just how even these two teams are.
Ryan Rio hits that one foul towards the Baycats dugout. It's 0-1.
Rio been fairly consistent so far this season, batting .241, .217 over his last 5, .244 over his last 10 as well. So numbers not moving around too much. So obviously would love to flash a little bit more of the bat-to-ball skills, get that contact, that average up a tad bit, but been fairly consistent since the season got going.
1-1 count here on Rio after he backed away from a breaking ball from Victor Payano. Lefty readies. The 1-1. Fouled off.
You can kind of see what the makeup is defensively on him. Manoa very shifted over towards the first base side.
Escato not that far towards second, though, up the middle, Justin.
Yeah, it's a little split, to say, based off how they're kind of lined up right now.
1-2, breaking ball flared into left field. Adam Thuss is there. He makes the catch, and there's one away.
Is that reason exactly why the infield was a little shifted over towards third and over towards first, leaving Main Street right up the middle fairly clear, but can hit it both ways. Just hit it to a tough spot on the field. Thuss right there to get the grab and make it a quick first out.
One of the better bats in this Barrie lineup coming up to the plate in Nolan Macabrota here. Batting in the 5 spot today. Mentioned the Majors have gone with a righty-heavy lineup against Frank Garces. Not the case for the Barrie Baycats. Back-to-back lefties here to kick off the second inning. We saw one in the first. Adam Aud, the number 7 hitter, is left-handed as well. That pitch misses, 2-0.
Yeah, it's one of the probably arguably the biggest managerial debate is how important is lefty-righty and getting that matchup. Some people swear by it. Some people are more like, I just want to get my best guys out there, whether that be righty, lefty. If they've got good contact, they've got good contact.
Swing and a miss there from Macabrota. 2-1. And I think part of it is like you mentioned, Justin, some of the better hitters in this Barrie lineup on this Barrie roster are left-handed. So are you really going to take away opportunities for your best bats just to get a favorable matchup? And Josh Madlow, the Baycats manager, has said he is not doing that in this game as Macabrota fouls that one straight back.
Well, and you even see examples of it on the major squad as well. Obviously, Zadunik, a lefty, but do you really want to take him out when he's a pretty consistent guy, can hit both ways, is pretty sharp defensively over and right as well? Do you really win or lose if you take him out? But clearly he's been solid, so Rube Chandernat electing to keep him in.
2-2, yes he did, says the third base umpire Justin Snively. Strike three, Victor Payano gets the punch out. It's his second of the ball game so far, and there's two away now in the second inning.
You can definitely tell what the crowd here at Labatt Memorial Park thought it was even before they ruled that one down to the third base umpire to get the call on whether it was a swing or not. Just a little bit of bias here from the hometown crowd, but looked pretty confident in that was a swing and miss there, so good effort from Payano.
That'll bring up Hayden Jaco, who is wearing number 19 with the last name White on the back of his jersey, but we were warned about that pregame. Jaco sends this one into left center field, gives it a pretty good ride, but Adam Thuss is able to track it down, make the catch, and end the inning. So two quick innings for Victor Payano, 21 pitches, all it takes to get to the first two.
And you know, the weather's been a little all over the place today, but ultimately that wind has kind of been in left, shifting back towards home plate. In a different day, different circumstances, that could have been a homer. It was definitely a little dicey. Looked like that one was potentially had the capabilities of going over the fence, but or that just be the hit, the humidity, the wind, stayed in the park. Adam Thuss able to track it down.
Nice grab by Thuss there to end the inning as we take a look at one of the other games in the CBL today. The Brantford Red Sox, the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. Brantford storming back to walk off Chatham-Kent in that one. A 9-8 victory for the Red Sox on Canada Day. As you get a look at that base hit through the hole that won them the game. That one of two games already in the books as Kitchener beat up Guelph at Jack Couch Park. A big win, 14-7 against one of the hotter teams in the CBL in the Guelph Royals.
Yeah, definitely a good rivalry there. That Highway 7 rivalry between the two teams, always competitive to watch. And I know a lot of the Kitchener Panthers fans are going to be rubbing it into some of the Guelph Royals fans, to say the least. Always fun to watch. But from the numbers, it looks like it just came down to who was hitting with runners in scoring position. The hits column was not drastically different between those two teams, but the scorecard definitely shifted in the Panthers' favor. So great matchups today. And yeah, I know that Barnstormer Red Sox one was very back and forth. We were keeping an eye on that before our game got going today, and it's a lot of fun for even us to watch over here in London.
So the Majors taking on the Baycats here on Canada Day, and then Toronto is in Welland. That one getting underway in the next few minutes or so, slated for a 6:35 start here this evening. Fireworks post-game in Welland as well, just as there are here at Labatt Park. Perhaps a bit of a thinner crowd than what we're used to seeing on Canada Day because of that rain a little bit earlier on, but still a very good crowd here at Labatt Park as they watch Starling Joseph saunter into the batter's box, playing in his 20th game of the season.
A fan favorite, to say the least. Always gets a pretty good cheer from the crowd here in town. And some good numbers to back him up this season as well. 311 so far. Been consistent as of late, too. 286 over his last 10, 294 over his last 5. That's 5 for 17. 19 RBIs to boot, so pretty good guy to have in there, whether that's over manning the field or DHing like he is today.
First two pitches missed to him. It's 2-0. You mentioned it a little bit earlier. Justin had that grand slam last week against Toronto that really broke that game open. I guess it was 13 runs already at that point, so maybe he didn't break it open, but got the Majors to 17 in that contest as he fouls that one off.
I think it definitely got the crowd a little bit more invested. Obviously, no one, I mean, depending on who you are, likes to watch a big blowout like that because you start feeling bad for the other team a little bit at a certain point. But a big grand slam, that'll get the crowd really, really back into it, even if you are ahead 13-0 at that point in the game.
2-1 pitch. Joseph fouls that one off. 2-2. Garces has got him to reach on the last couple of pitches.
He's gotten a few batters to reach so far. I know Lenahan, that one that ultimately struck him out, was definitely on the outer part of the plate away. And it's just how good he is at keeping these batters on their toes, pitch to pitch, whether that be slowing them down, speeding them up, changing the locations.
That pitch misses low. Good take from Joseph there, and the count runs full here at 3-2.
Just as soon as he throws a pitch on the outside, goes right back inside again, almost trying to maybe back Joseph up a tad bit. We'll see if he ends up trying to go away or change up the location on this payoff pitch.
3-2, inside ball 4. Joseph works himself a walk. Garces sped up the delivery on that one, and Joseph reaches base, first base runner for either team in this game.
Yeah, good point there. It almost looked like he overextended in his delivery, just trying to get that into the zone, maybe just thinking about it a little bit too much. Obviously, the humidity might play a little bit of a factor as well. The ball will just naturally feel a little bit sticky, a bit different than you would normally be used to, just because that humidity is changing the conditions here in London.
Eduardo Diolio into the batter's box here for the Majors, with Joseph standing over at first. That pitch there for a strike. Diolio thought it was low. Diolio scuffling a little bit over his last 5 games. 4 for 19. That's a .211 batting average. His power hasn't really been there as we've seen it in past seasons this year, but still batting over 300 on the campaign. Fouls this one off, and he's quickly behind 0-2.
If there is anyone on this team who knows their potential and knows that, hey, I want to start contributing on the power front, I want to start helping this team out on that area, it is Eduardo Diolio. He knows it's there. He's got the swings. It is just getting barrel to the ball when he is trying to hit it hard and hit it over the fence. It's just been a little bit different so far this year than in past seasons.
Gets a good chunk of that one, but sends it well foul.
And whether that's just a change of form, a little bit of the mental side of it can be a big factor as well. But we even just saw from that swing right there, he's got the rotational power. It is just eye on the ball, keeping your form straight, trusting in those fundamentals to really clobber that thing out of here, not trying to overdo it.
Garces ready. 0-2. Diolio pops this one up, foul once again. So 3 straight foul balls, and we'll try again on 0-2.
I almost expect Garces to go back inside. It looked like Diolio was not overly comfortable with that pitch down and in. I think even if he got it to stay in the park, I don't think it would have been a good result. So likely Garces saw that as well. We'll see if he goes back to a similar pitch or tries to mirror it, maybe go up and away here as well.
0-2. Hit hard in the hole. Base hit, Diolio. Majors in business here in the home half of the second. They've got 2 on with nobody out.
That's all it can take to try and get even a little bit of momentum in your favor. A walk, a single. Suddenly the Majors have a runner in scoring position almost just as quick as they got their first base runner of the game as well.
Tucker Zadunik into the batter's box. First left-hander that Frank Garces will see on the other side. And Zadunik coming up in a big spot, runner in scoring position. We've seen Zadunik, as of late, not be afraid to lay down a bunt, so Adam Odd is in over at third base, just in case. First baseman Nolan Macabrota well back at first, though, with the power Zadunik has in that left-handed bat. Doesn't square, waves at a breaking ball, 0-1.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked either way for Zadunik to try and clobber one. Obviously, you got a runner in scoring position, but you also see those kind of larger gaps in left center and right center. I wouldn't be shocked if he tried to turn on one to at least hit the grass, probably even try to get one over the fence if he can.
The 0-1, Zadunik squares now, pulls back, takes just outside. Didn't miss by much, but did miss. It's 1-1.
I love the mind games. You almost saw Odd over at third base, kind of wondering, okay, should I go back? Should I stay in? What do I do here? But squaring up to bunt on a 0-1 count, the mind games will pay off all by themselves.
1-1, Zadunik squares again, pulls back again, and it's ball 2.
Cyprian definitely looks like he's keeping an eye over at second base. Joseph taking some hefty leads so far right now, but Brendan Hernandez pretty far off the bag.
Well, the Hernandez brothers far off the bag, but also when Zadunik squares, that draws odd in and frees up third base. So if Joseph thinks he can win that race, then he's got himself a stolen bag. 2-1. Not running. Zadunik skies this one to right field. Figueroa moving under it. Makes the catch. Joseph will not tag. There's one away.
Tough spot there. Oftentimes when you're trying to get in the defense's head, the pitcher's head in terms of squaring up to bunt, figuring out whether you want to clobber one, whether you want to go opposite way, it has a good result in getting into the defense's heads, but it can also sometimes get in your own head a little bit. And I think that might have been what happened there in terms of not great contact, just kind of flew it over towards the right fielder there, not overly deep as well. In a spot like that, you'd almost prefer, even if it is an out, to get it towards the warning track, give Joseph a chance to gun it over towards third, but the runners will stay on second and first.
Jarrett Burney into the batter's box now. Has some family in the building today, so I'm sure he'd love to put on a show in today's contest. Swings through that one. It's 0-1. Last time the Majors played Barrie, Burney, of course, made the catch of the year, robbing a home run against the first batter of the ball game.
Again, another one of those players that started the year at a different position, moved over a little bit later, and just been incredible to watch in center.
0-2 now on Burney as he takes one on the inside corner.
Tough call there. Great pitch from Garces. Really pounding the inner part of the strike zone to a lot of these Majors batters. Using that horizontal plane really, really well early on in this one.
0-2 pitch. That one just misses. 1-2.
Burney, 295 on the season so far. 10 RBIs he's racked up as well. Scuffling a little as of late, 211 over his last 5, 222 over his last 10 in terms of average.
Rolls over on this one, up the middle. It's through for a base hit. Joseph getting the wave. He will trot in to score. Diolio headed to third. It's runners on the corners for the Majors as Jarrett Burney pushes home the first run of the ball game.
Hey, that's all you need sometimes. Some small ball can really pay off pretty well. We'll always say that pitching is one of the tougher defensive positions to play. Very little reaction time, so if you can get a solid one to go right up Main Street, whether it be soft contact or hard contact, usually you can get a pretty solid result.
Adam Thuss into the batter's box here. Another RBI spot for London. He's got Diolio standing over at third. Brandon Hernandez making a uniform adjustment out there. Looks like some belt issues. But all set to resume after that dive might have come undone. Burney has speed over at first. Might see the Majors put a hit and run on here. Thus ready in the box. Here's the pitch. Off the plate outside. Ball one.
Going back to that hit from Burney there, I think one underappreciated area in terms of that was his turnaround first over towards second. You could see the center fielder, Ijo, debating whether to make the throw over towards third to try and get Diolio there if he was going to turn around, try and go home, get him at the bag. But that little turnaround first from Burney detracts the attention back in his favor.
Ripped down the line, just foul. Adam Thuss missed extra bases by about 6 inches on that one.
Tough one. Great spot, great mindset, a couple feet. Big difference between a solid hit, probably a double cashing in at least one, if not both of those runs. But that's the game of baseball for you.
Mistakenly said earlier, Thuss another lefty in the lineup. The only lefty in the lineup is Tucker Zadunik. All 8 other hitters are right-handed for the Majors. 1-1. Fouled off. 1-2 now. One ball, 2 strike count. 1 away in the inning. Here's the pitch. Popped up. Foul territory, playable for Cyprian and Macabrota. They collide, and the ball drops. Cyprian was going out, Macabrota was coming in. It's the first baseman's ball, but they run into each other, and it drops in.
You know, the easiest thing that you can say if you're watching a lot of these games is talk, communicate, but when that ball is skied up in the air, you're looking up, it is so hard to focus on anything other than catching that ball. Obviously, in this case, bit them a little bit, especially that hard contact between them, which is how fast they were going in for it. But a tough one that should be made, but a tough one here for Barrie.
Now the attention turns to Wani Cyprian behind the plate as manager Josh Matlow and the trainer come out. Will not count as a mound visit, considering they didn't visit the mound. 1-2. So Thus gets another life here. Another chance to push a run across here for the Majors and get them a little bit of insurance. The pitch, Bernie running, Thus in the air, foul territory again. Macabrota towards the dugout. This one out of play. Bounces in the walkway on the first base side. And a nice catch made by a fan off the bounce. How about that? Oh, he's got his sights set on somebody, and a young fan gets the baseball. Wow. Good times all around on Canada Day, and that young fan gets to walk away with a souvenir.
That's what you love to see. Love the spirit. These Majors fans are so much heart, so much passion in them. Love seeing a move like that at any level of baseball.
1-2. The pitch. Thus drives this one left field and deep. Moving back on it, Jaco. Still going back. That ball is out of here. Adam Thus breaks this one open. It's a long ball on Canada Day, and the Majors are up 4-0.
You know, you can only play with fire for so long. Ultimately, that play behind the plate, that collision, that tough pop out, biting Barrie a little bit here. A play you've got to make, and if you leave it hanging for too long, a player like Thus will just turn on it and make the most of it.
Well, you mentioned it, Justin. The Baycats gave Thus a second life on that drop pop-up, and he makes them pay. Sends it over the left field fence and gives the Majors a 4-0 lead as Xavier Whittle will step into the batter's box here now.
No better way to try and get those past two games out of your heads, whether that be for Payano on the mound, for all the players out on the field, anyone in the dugout, than a big home run like that on a big day like Canada Day in front of this crowd.
I talked to Roop Chanada at pregame about his ball club in the last couple of games. He said, Dylan, the big thing right now is just getting through the first couple of innings, whether it's with a lead or not, just making sure you don't give up runs, because that's been the trouble here as of late as Xavier Whittle hits this one to shortstop. Long throw for Hernandez, nicely dug out by Macabrota, and there's two away. But so far, so good for the Majors in getting a good start in this one.
Yeah, you can definitely say that again. Anytime that you, especially with just how good these teams are, anytime that you can get out to any sort of a lead, let alone a 4-0 lead, that's what you got to do, especially when, like you mentioned there, you just got to get on the board early. You got to show the other team that you mean business, and you can hit at any part of the lineup. We've talked about how good the upper part, the Scottos, the Anoas, the Lenahans have been so far this season. But once you get down to the Bernies, the Thusses, the Whittles, they've been pretty sharp this season, and it just shows how dangerous this lineup is as a whole.
Swing and a miss there from Michael Escato as he reaches for one well off the plate. It all started with a nice walk worked by Starling Joseph on a full count. Escato comes up empty there as well, 0-2. Diolio then singled after the Joseph walk. Zadunik flew out, and then Bernie pushed home a run on a base hit up the middle, and Adam Thus, after being given a second life, makes it a 4-0 game. 0-2 inside to Escato, 1-2. This the only game on the go right now around the CBL. There's a rain delay out in Welland. That storm that hit London around 5 o'clock has hit Welland around 6:30. which is bad news for first pitch. 1-2 in the dirt. No chase for Moscato there, and it's 2-2.
Yeah, here in London, it was a very brief but exciting storm system. We got a little bit of thunder, we got a bit of lightning, a pretty heavy downpour at one point, and while it didn't last long, it was a lengthy in terms of far-stretching storm surge that we were seeing going pretty far to the northeast. We knew it was going to hit that game at some point.
Swing and a miss, strike 3 there from Escato to end the inning, but the Majors, they strike for 4 in the frame. An RBI single from Bernie and a 3-run blast for Adam. Thus have the Majors up on Barrie here after 2.
Hockey isn't a game, it's a legacy. VMF Sportswear builds custom pro-level jerseys, socks, and apparel, like team hoodies and workout wear. Your colors, your crest, your identity. Create yours now. Canada's ball teams deserve uniforms built to win. VMF Sportswear delivers custom jerseys, pants, and caps. Level up your look with custom team apparel. Choose your colors. Drop your logo. Own your look. Order now at vmfsportswear.ca.
Smoke alarms expire after 10 years. Check the date and test your smoke alarm today.
A working smoke alarm is a gift the whole family can enjoy.
Follow us online at LDNONT Fire. Nother's blank and stock metals deliver impact without compromise. Fully customizable with UV full color printing or 3D printing to showcase your logo, event name, or design. 1- or 2-sided printing available. Some stock metals have a recessed area for adding plates for divisions, names, and more. Each medal includes a stock neck ribbon or upgrade to a custom ribbon with your branding. Just allow for lead time. Versatile, customizable, affordable.
Explore your options at Nothers.com or call 1-800-265-1554.
Get a look at the Osprey out in left field down the third base side. Nothing artificial about that. It is live at Labatt Park. It has been for a number of years as it sits in its perch down the third base side, watching over the Majors here at Labatt Park. As always, we've got our red on. The umpires have their red on. The Majors prominently featuring Maple Leafs on their jerseys here on Canada Day. As we move to the third inning, Majors have given Victor Payano a 4-run lead.
Yeah, it's been pretty sharp so far from the pitching side, the offensive side. Obviously, the offensive side has gotten the crowd really, really going here. It's gotten the players going as well. Again, we mentioned just how good it is getting past those previous 2 games when the Majors were on the opposite end of it, really getting hit around. But yeah, especially on a day like this in front of a huge, huge supportive crowd here in town. That's the way you got to get things going. A nice 4-run lead, a good cushion for someone like Victor Payano to try and stay pretty sharp out there on the mound.
Adam Odd, the number 7 hitter, trying to make something happen here against Payano. The pitch misses. 1-1.
Odd has been pretty sharp so far. Just 2 home runs on the season, but 17 hits. It's contributed to a .333 average and been pretty hot as of late, batting .368 over his last 5. That's 7 for 19. So bat-to-ball skills, that contact end of his game has been pretty sharp for the Baycats.
1-1 misses. Did he go? No, says the third base umpire. So 2-1 here on Odd.
Almost saw Diolio take a bit of a funky trot over the far left side of home plate there. You kind of mentioned how the actual batter's boxes themselves were covered during all that rain, but yeah, it is almost a little island over there right at home plate, to say the least.
I've seen Diolio try to kick some dirt off his cleats, the home plate umpire. Stephen Gomes try to kick some dirt off his cleats. Payano all good out on the mound. It was covered throughout the whole process with the tarp. 2-1 fouled back, 2-2.
Still not the worst we've seen. I know there was a pretty rainy game a few weeks ago, and I think it was Zach Laird on the mound, and he had to actively stop and use his other cleats to try and kick off all the mud that was on there and clear it out. So we have seen worse, but that home plate still leaves a little bit to be desired right now.
2-2 on its way. Breaking ball called strike 3. Freezes on, and there's one away.
Beautiful pitch. Anytime that you can do it like that to a left-handed batter in the box, again, one of those ones where if you're in the box, you're looking at the pitcher, it starts at you and then curves its way in. It's so hard not to get buckled when you have to have split-second reaction time to judge whether you're going to swing or whether you're going to hold back. And when it starts coming at you, realistically, I wouldn't be swinging at that, to say the least. So you got to be thinking that's the same thing in these batters' heads, and just shows how good Victor Payano is with mixing up those pitches.
Juan Ciprian into the batter's box, fouls off the first pitch he sees. It's 0-1. The weather has cooled down ever so slightly, but it is still toasty here at Labatt Park, with humidity feeling like 32 right now.
Yeah, that little rain we got, that little breeze that we got was really, really nice, but we knew it would potentially pivot back in the other direction, add a little bit more humidity into the mix, which never too fun on a day like this.
Juan Ciprian way early on that breaking ball, behind in the count 0-2 here. Ciprian batting over 400 this season. Payano trying to set him down for the second out of the inning. Breaking ball, didn't quite find the zone. See some frustration from Payano, who I'm noticing now has a red glove for Canada Day on his right hand.
I love that. Well, those little mixes of personal charm that you can kind of throw out on there. We're seeing some red in terms of cleats. We're seeing some red sweatbands on a few of these players as well. Anything to get that little bit of Canadian flair mixed into that game. Love seeing it.
1-2. Swing and a miss, strike three. Back-to-back punch-outs to start the inning for Victor Payano as he gets Ciprian to chase a breaking ball in the dirt.
On a pitch like that, I almost don't know if that was Payano wanting to get the strikeout or Payano wanting to correct that previous pitch. Didn't go his way, threw another curveball back-to-back to try and get a little bit better in the zone, gets the strikeout that he wanted, but I almost think that it was more like a, hey, I can throw this pitch. I should have thrown this pitch. I'm going to throw this pitch.
Brandon Hernandez will step into the batter's box here for Barrie. Swing and a miss on a fastball, 0-1. So Payano throws 2 or 3 consecutive breaking balls to get Ciprian and then starts Hernandez off with a heater.
It's one of those cases where with how comfortable Payano is pitching, the heat versus those breaking pitches with the curveball, you almost got to sit on one or the other with just how drastic they are from this velocity to that amount of break.
Popped foul there into the Majors dugout. Lanahan and Diolio both gave it a look, but neither guy able to make the catch.
That one just kept drifting. Saw a few of those Majors players cover their heads with just how like, oh, that one's coming right at us. Oh, no.
Oh, we saw one drop on the walkway behind the first base dugout, which bounced to a fan, and then they got a souvenir. But that one nearly got to the walkway on the third base dugout, but hit the back of the railing there and popped down.
A little bit of audience participation never hurts too much.
0-2, 2 out. Pitch from Payano on the way. Lined foul. We'll try it again on 0-2.
Even a pitch like that, which looked like it was going pretty well down the heart of the plate, when you're just mixing not only where you're throwing, but how hard you're throwing, it could be a little bit of a cookie down the middle. But if you're expecting a curveball to come in, and you get a nice heater like that, it'll put you on your toes. You'll always be a little bit early on that one, a little bit late as well.
Rolls over on this one to Xavier Whittle at first. He'll touch the bag and record the out. 9 up, 9 down so far for Victor Payano as he and the Majors lead 4-0 through 2.5.
Everything about this game on the Majors front has been incredibly sharp. Payano has been great out there, gotten strikeouts in now every single inning. 1 in the first, 1 in the second, now 2 in the third as well. Some good defensive highlights. Well, obviously, those ones from Lanahan come to mind back in the first inning. Some good offense. Really well-rounded play so far for the Majors. The Baycats still trying to find an opportunity to get things going here in this one.
Absolutely they are, Justin. It's been solid pitching and defense so far for the Majors. Let's check in with Evan Fredrickson down at field level. Evan, what do you got for us?
Gentlemen, thank you very much. I want to take a second to acknowledge some of the Majors hitters who have just been dominating the last couple of games, even though the games have not particularly gone the Majors' way. Trent Lanahan, this guy is not from planet Earth at all. The dude is batting .564 in his last 10 games. That's good for a 1.9 Maple, which is the equivalent of WAR in MLB, wins above replacement. And he's also recorded 4 4 hits in 3 of his last 7 games. I think that's pretty good, but I'll let you guys be the judge of that. And also Christian, since coming over, he has recorded 5 multi-hit games, including 5 multi-hit games in his last 7 games. And all I see in these stats, guys, are consistency, and even more consistency. And when it comes to playoff time, that's going to be the Majors' best friend, guys.
Thank you, Evan. Absolutely. Consistency is key. The Majors have had it offensively here this season, even though it's been a bit of a struggle over the last couple of games. Justin, they seem to be right back on track here tonight.
Well, and like Evan was mentioning there, what a guy to really get things going for you than Trent Lenahan. Evan mentioned it there, not from this planet, and you could definitely say that. Shifting positions defensively, been a mainstay in terms of the lineup, his power. I would argue a no-doubt all-star player. But we'll see how those come up. But I would be incredibly floored if he was not having his talent shown at that All-Star game coming up.
2, 3, and 4 for the Majors here in this third inning. It'll be Noah, Lenahan, and Joseph as you get a look there at Forrest, who is rocking a Canada Day get-up with a red and black plaid shirt as opposed to the blue and black we normally see. First pitch to Noah off the plate outside for ball 1.
Forrest has a pretty nice wardrobe starting to build up over the past few years. Always looking sharp out there.
1-0, and Noah sends this one into the air on the cut of the grass. It's Hernandez, Brandon Hernandez there to make the catch, and there's one away.
And Noah showing the contact skills there, but a pitch that he probably should have laid off. Almost looked a little bit of a golf swing. You saw just how low he had to reach and really rotate on that to try and get any lift at all. So sometimes having as stellar contact as someone like Enoa has can sometimes bite you when you know that you can swing and get some sort of contact on any pitch.
Trent Lenahan into the batter's box now against Garces for the second time today. Struck out in his first trip. That pitch misses off the plate outside, ball 1. Lenahan got a steady dose of pitches off the plate outside and on the outside corner in his first trip. Lenahan pops this one in the air, foul territory. After it, Macabrota towards the warning track, has plenty of room and makes the catch for the second out.
Yeah, it's definitely the way Garces has been going on him so far. Ended up, like you mentioned, they're struck out on a pitch away. Ends up kind of popping up on a fairly similar pitch, one that was a little bit closer to the zone than that strikeout pitch that ultimately got him. But definitely definitely the game plan Garces has in his head for Trent Lenahan.
Starling Joseph stepping into the batter's box here for the Majors. He started the rally in the second inning by working a walk. Eventually came around to score on the single from Jarrett Burney. That pitch misses for ball 1 to Joseph.
I think with someone like Starling Joseph, you love pointing to the power in that bat, but I would argue a more impressive one for him was that walk that we saw back in the second inning. Been very contact or swing and miss his profile so far this season. A good amount of strikeouts that we've seen from him, especially early on in the year. But for him to start getting that plate discipline up in particular, hold off on some of those more borderline pitches, try and force up the count, try and potentially work your way on base with a walk, I think was really impressive to see from him last inning.
Chases one outside the zone there, and it is 2-1. Joseph's approach has really come along over the last number of weeks, dating back to that game against Welland in Welland when he went deep. Rube Chanodad said he loved his approach at the plate, and he's continued to swing a hot bat since then. 2-1 pitch. Garces speeds up the delivery. Joseph rockets this one. Nice backhanded stop by Adam Odd. The throw nearly takes Macabrota off the bag. It did! Wow! Macabrota tried to stay on as best he could with that right foot and couldn't do it.
Good heads up there, I would argue, from first base umpire Jeff Stollard over there. Tough sight line to try and get there, and especially from that angle, yeah.
That's a good look on our replay. You can see he just kind of falls over as that ball gets into his glove. So we'll see how that one gets ruled. It appears to be an error on the play. You'd think a throwing error on Odd as Eduardo Diolio will step into the batter's box.
A tough one to see, especially after an incredible stop that we saw from Odd over at third base.
Yeah, Joseph really hit that baseball hard down the line. Diolio takes a first pitch strike. It's 0-1. 0-1 pitch on the way, fouled off by Diolio, and it's 0-2.
For Diolio so far this season, his numbers have actually been fairly similar to his pace and his play back in the 2024 season. Ultimately finished with a 295 average, a 349 on base, and a 445 slugging. The big difference between that year and this year is his plate discipline is a little bit better. His average is a bit increased, his on base is a bit increased, but yeah, that power is even a little bit lower than that season. Had a 445 slugging in that season, a 420 slugging in this season. It's a little bit tough for him. Obviously, that contact, that average has been pretty consistent since his first year with the majors back in 23. But the power, he's definitely got it in him. Just waiting for a time to turn it around.
1-2, rips this one, but rips it foul. And so the count remains at 1 ball and 2 strikes here. They do have a second error up here on the scoreboard. That is the dropped pop-up in foul territory in the last inning with Adam Thuss at the plate. Though as of right now, all those runs charged as earned to Garces. Joseph running on 1-2. Diolio gets a piece, fouls it off. Starling's looked like he's been wanting to run last couple of times he's been on base, and finally does so there. Wouldn't be shocked if we get a check from Garces here before the next pitch.
Well, I'm starting to think whether or not that was a specific steal attempt from him or more a hit-and-run strategy, because it looked almost like a bit of a funky swing from Diolio, almost like, okay, I'm going to try and get bat to ball on this one so we can try and get that hit-and-run going. But obviously Joseph has plenty of speed, so could have been a straight steal attempt as well.
1-2, Garces doesn't check. Diolio fouls it off, and we'll try it again on 1 ball and 2 strikes. 3 straight foul balls from Eduardo Diolio, and 4 of the past 5 pitches have been fouled off.
I think where Garces has been doing best so far is down and in on a lot of these right-handed batters. We've seen a lot of kind of funky, unconventional swings, having to almost pull in to try and make contact on it. We've seen it from Diolio, we've seen it on Lenahan, we've seen it on Escato. A lot of these big-name guys are being pitched definitely down and inside. So that's been pretty consistent from what we've been seeing so far. And when it's working, it's really, really working. But we have seen the odd pitch kind of left down the middle, especially last inning. These majors players were really capitalizing and making the most on it.
Joseph running again. Diolio sends this one to the left center field gap. Jaco over. He's got it, and that will end the inning. Nearly extra bases for Eduardo Diolio there, but Hayden Jaco makes the grab and ends the frame. London continues to lead 4-0 through 3 innings of play. Time for the kids to run the bases here at Labatt Park. As we take a break, you're watching London and Barrie live on Majors TV.
Leather's blank and stock metals deliver impact without compromise. Fully customizable with
Everyone dreams of being great. Only a select few can be iconic. But only one is chosen. Introducing the Chosen One from Rawlings. The all-new one-piece composite iteration of the top-rated and established Icon BB Core bat.
Get ready, Chatham Cats. For the first time ever in the new Canadian Baseball League era, the 2026 All-Star Showdown is landing at Fergie Jenkins Field on the July 11th and 12th weekend. The league's top talent, all in one place. Watch the full slate of skills competitions, including the popular Home Run Derby on Saturday, and on Sunday, the ultimate 2026 CBL All-Star Game featuring your favorite players for a mid-season showdown. Chatham Kent, it's our time. The All-Star Weekend of the new CBL era. It's history in the making.
Back here at Labatt Memorial Park, kids have just wrapped up running the bases. And you know what? As everybody knows, I'm an integrity of the game guy. and so far, this winner, I think, got all the bases. It was tight, and we'll see this last turn. Oh, didn't touch third. But You know what? 3 of the... Oh, he missed home too. Okay, well, I was going to say 3 of the 4 aren't so bad, but missed home plate. Still gets world-famous chips and queso, but was just going so fast that last step took him over home plate. We've all been there, haven't we, Justin?
Oh, to say the least. I love where that conversation went. As soon as you started with Justin, I'm an integrity of the game kind of guy. I was like, oh, what is going to happen here?
No, listen, when the kids run the bases and just run on the grass, that's when I don't like it, because you're supposed to touch the bases. You're running the bases. The goal is to touch all the bases. And that kid was close enough. I'll give him that.
It was fairly close.
We had a winner with integrity. And a respectful winner here on this Canada Day. No, all the kids are just having a good time.
100%. I think it was specifically that over at second base, that little specific step out to make sure he got it.
Yes.
I was like, there we go. That's happy to see.
Interesting to touch it with the hands, right? He tried to get every base with the hands. Tried to get third, just missed it. And then missed home as well.
I had a talk with Ryder Hancock the other day about that. Specifically, not so much the player.
About the integrity of base running
about
with the kids?
Just how this year in particular, he's been seeing a lot of those kids running on the grass.
Yes.
He brought up kind of a similar point. It's running the bases.
Correct.
It's a big part of that. So
it's not running the grass. First pitch in there for a strike to Kinesi Joe. It's 0-1.
Now, what would you say if it was running the outfield grass, getting towards that outer edge?
Well, I mean, then you're going to lose if you're trying to run on the outer edge. You've got to find the most efficient route possible. Get that, what do they call it, banana turn going around first.
There you
and
go.
Make sure you're touching all the bases. And the real winners are the ones who touch all the bases, is my thought. 1-1 to Ejo here. He was set down on strikes to start this ball game.
First time back through the order for the Baycats now.
1-1. Now 1-2 as he comes up empty on that swing.
Some really good swing and miss stuff from Payano so far. This is almost a keystone Payano appearance that we've been seeing so far. Almost one that at the start of the season was like, oh, this is what we're used to seeing. This is regular stereotypical Payano that we saw last season, the season prior, getting a lot of those strikeout numbers up, a lot of swing and miss that we've almost been without, and we're getting a good taste of it here.
Swing and a miss, strike 3 there for Victor Payano. Yet another punch out. Second time he's got Ejo on strikes and 5th strikeout of the ball game.
Now at least 1 strikeout in every single inning so far. It's the best thing, not just for your own numbers, your own mentality, but also for the defense behind you. Taking some of the pressure off them, knowing that you got your A game when it comes to your swing and miss.
Edgar Figueroa into the batter's box here. Fouls this one off. It's 0-1.
A good mix from Payano so far as well. 17 strikes, 11 balls on the night so far.
Figueroa squares to bunt, gets this one down. It's fair. Lenahan has no play. I think Lenahan thought that one was going to roll foul, and it never did. So it's a bunt single for Edgar Figueroa, the first hit and first base runner of the ball game for the Baycats.
I almost thought that was going to be a dicey one as well. It's always almost makes your heart drop when you bunt and it's got a little bit too much lift on it. I almost thought Lenahan was going to be able to get over there and try and make the grab, because that can often happen in a situation like that. But it was almost a little... His footing was a little bit off, kind of like you said, expecting it to roll out. Would have been dicey trying to make that throw towards first. You risk it going out and turning a bunt single into a double. So sometimes better safe than sorry, especially with a 4-0 lead.
Francisco Hernandez into the batter's box here for Barrie. Takes a first pitch strike on a breaking ball. It's 0-1.
Almost looked like Payano took even a little extra off that. That was probably one of the slower curveballs I've seen him deliver tonight.
One on its way. Hernandez hits this one hard to center field. Bernie shielding his eyes. He never saw it. It got behind him. Figueroa rounding third. He will get the wave home. The relay to the plate. Up the line. Diolio the tag. Not in time. He missed the tag. Figueroa will score. It's an RBI double for Francisco Hernandez on a ball that Jarrett Bernie just never saw in center.
Tough one. We're used to these games being a little bit later, and by the time you hit kind of the 4th, 5th inning, you might be A-okay when it comes to where the sun is in terms of where you're standing in the outfield. We know how much the sun can play a factor on a lot of these plays, but with an hour earlier game start, we're getting a lot more sun and a lot more of the field for a whole lot longer, and the biggest area of impact is for those outfielders. A really tough one to try and make defensively, and just didn't go his way there. Like you said, almost didn't have a lock on it from the get-go.
So now a mound visit here for Majors manager Roop Chanderdat, trying to settle his pitcher Victor Payano on the mound. Definitely some frustration, I'm sure, for Payano. No fault of Bernie, the center fielder. I mean, you mentioned it, Justin. Like, the sun sets right behind home plate here at Labatt Park. So we've seen in past years it can be tough in the first couple of innings of a ball game for those center fielders dealing with that sun. Here it just so happens to be in the 4th inning because, like you mentioned, we started earlier tonight.
I think the biggest areas of impact are center field and pitching when it comes to this sunshine sometimes. With how it is for the pitchers, you are part of the game in the sun, part of the game in the shade, and a few innings right in between, you're kind of at that blended spot where the shadow from the grandstand bag here is, almost even as it is right now, is right at the tip of the pitching mound there.
Yeah.
And that can play its own factor. So I think when you're right up the middle defensively, it's tough with all this sun.
Ryan Rio into the batter's box here, sends this one high in the air left field. Long run for Thuss, who is shaded towards center. Still tracking, just out of his reach. It's a foul ball. Long run for Thuss there, and couldn't come up with it.
Great athleticism on him. Good hustle as well. Almost looked like, I think if he had a better read from the get-go, I think, again, that sun might have had a little bit of a factor right at the start, but it looked like he locked on fairly quick. But I think that first step, if it was a little bit quicker, he might have been able to get there, but that's a big if coming from up here in the booth from me.
Rio went to the opposite field in his last trip to the plate, but the major is still shading him towards the percentages here. Now Thuss a little bit closer to the left field line. 0-1 high, 1-1.
And a lot of times, if you're at home watching and you see this big shift over towards the right side, you think, oh, if you're in the batter's box, just hit it the other way. There's a big gap over there. And for a lot of these cases, that's what the batter is thinking. But then when you start focusing on that, that's when you can get a lot of those pop-ups, those really iffy swings when you're trying to force a play in a certain direction. And it's a lot easier said than done.
1-1, Rio gets jammed on that one, fouls it off. It's 1-2. Baycats in business for the first time in this one. Runner in scoring position, less than 2 outs, though Rio facing a 1-2 count. A bunt single, and then a double that Jarrett Burney never saw out in center field. That one on the ground to shortstop. Escato makes the play, throws to first. It pulls Whittle off the bag. He can't get back in time. My goodness, this inning has turned ugly for the Majors. A bunt single that could have been an out and wasn't. A line drive to center that normally would get caught but wasn't. And then a throw that Michael Escato makes 99 times out of 100, but not this time.
Tough one there. Was definitely hunched over, thinking about that play for an extra second there over at short. Sometimes when you mentally are like, okay, this is an easy play. This is one I practice all the time. You can almost take a little bit of an edge off of it. You almost think it's, okay, I'm going to get this no matter what. And then that's when sometimes the throw is a little bit too slow, sometimes a little bit offline. You got to be treating every single one of these plays as if it is a tie ball game, or even if you're down one, in terms of just how much effort you're putting in.
First pitch cut on and missed there by Nolan Macabrota. It is 0-1. Macabrota representing the tying run now. Majors were in control of this game, or so it appeared up until this inning. The Baycats have a rally going now with some help from the Majors defense. In the dirt, DiOlio blocks that one, and it's 1-1.
Get ready for a lot more pitches just like that one, a bit down in the zone, especially if Payano can try and get some of these curveballs to drop down and away. Big chance to try and get a double play if he can.
Lefty ready on the mound. The 1-1 pitch. Ooh, not sure where that one missed. It's 2-1. Payano can't believe it. Asking where it was, asking if it's down, and Stephen Gomes, the home plate umpire, looking away from him. Not even looking in his direction.
Payano very clearly made his opinions known on where he thought that one was. One of the more physical players out there in terms of showing how he's feeling.
2-1. Pitch from Payano. Called strike 2 on the outside corner. It's 2-2.
Looked like a pretty similar pitch from up here, but ends up going in Payano's favor.
Two balls, two strikes, one out. Rio standing over at first base. Payano kicks and deals. Misses. Count runs full now at 3-2.
I think almost every one of these pitches so far has been down in the zone. I would almost like to see Payano switch gears. A full count like this, try and go up in the zone with that change in sight lines. It might get him to try and go after it. Potentially get a swing and a miss, try and get another strikeout here, or have a little pop up to the infield.
Full count, one out. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That's a big punch out for Victor Payano. There's 2 away in the top of the 4th.
It's exactly what he needed. Slow things down a little bit more, get it back in his favor. Obviously, a couple unconventional hits that didn't go your way. The first run of the ball game for the Baycats. A couple pitches not going your way as well. So anything that you can do to slow it down, try and shift things back in your favor as the pitcher is what Payano is thinking about doing right now, and that's the way to get it going now with 2 out in the inning.
Hayden Jaco into the batter's box here for the Baycats. Still in a good RBI spot here for Barrie. First pitch from Payano, a breaking ball to start Jaco off. That one doesn't get the zone, and it's 1-0.
If you're the Baycats, you're excited if you see Jaco up and pretty hot as of late. 5 for 14. That's 357 over his last 5 games, so been pretty sharp as of late.
One-zero count. Here's the pitch. Jaco pops this one up, and it is foul. 1-1.
Defense is fairly straight up. It looks like Bernie has almost shifted a little bit over towards the left field side. I don't know if that's defensive positioning or almost just trying to get the direct sunlight out of your eyes. You can almost see the angling of the shadow behind him, maybe moving things over, try and not get yourself in another one of those situations like earlier.
There's an enormous gap in right center field if Jaco can put one there, but he's way early on that breaking ball and falls behind 1-2.
Yeah, if you can send one over towards right center, I don't know if anyone is going to get there quick. Probably clearing the bases if you get one over in that direction.
I mean, there is nobody there. Look at that gap. Unbelievable. 1-2, 2 out. Runners on the corners here for the Baycats. Payano trying to strand them. And he'll throw over to check on Rio, who was dancing at first. It nearly gets up the line. And boy, oh boy, you don't want Payano throwing over in this situation. 1-2 count, 2 out, and Rio, who's not running, over at first. I think Christian Anoa is telling the same thing.
I think it was a good effort from Whittle to keep his head engaged in everything in front of him. If he overextends on that one, making sure he gets the ball, it almost looked like Hernandez over at third was thinking about darting home if that took an extra second longer.
1-2. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball just misses. Payano and Diolio thought they might have had it, but it deked around the outside corner, and so count is even.
Tough thing about those curveballs sometimes, especially when you're trying to go for a backdoor curveball like that, is you're not only getting the batter's eye a little bit out of the zone coming in, but you're also doing the same for the umpire as well. And sometimes slightly shifted a little bit over towards the far side.
2-2, 2 out. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Victor Payano gets out of the jam, only allowing the 1 run. And we head to the bottom of the 4th in a 3-run game.
Well, every out he got in that one was via the strikeout. Now 7 in the ball game so far. Strikeouts in every single inning. Really been a good performance from Payano so far, and what a way to get out of it and limit the damage.
Impressive stuff there for Victor Payano. Ended up striking out the side in that inning, and Some plays that didn't go his way in that inning, but still managing to get out of it. A bunt single, a double to center that Bernie normally would have had, but lost sight of it, and then an error, and Victor Payano able to persevere and get through the inning, only allowing the one run. So kind of a best-case scenario there for the Majors left-hander. As London heads back to the bats, it's been smooth sailing for Frank Garces outside of one inning. It was the second, but outside of that, it's been two rather quick innings for the Baycats left-hander.
Again, we've been getting quite the show on the pitching side as well. And I think right now, if you are the Baycats, you are heading in with a little bit more momentum. Obviously, there were a few runners left on, but when you had 3 up, 3 down for the first, the second, and the third inning, any little shift of momentum that you can get is one that you'd need to capitalize on. And with how sharp Garces has been looking, obviously, like you mentioned, apart from that one inning, I think this is the opportunity where they just, if you're a Baycats fan at home, you are praying that they shut things down right now so they can keep momentum in their favor, pushing towards the middle innings.
Absolutely, Justin. As the Baycats try to get a quick inning and build off some of that momentum, Frank Garces, after a longer inning on the bench, warming up from in behind the mound, trying to get loose and get ready to face 6, 7, and 8 in the Majors lineup. Zadunik, Bernie, and Thuss. And it was Adam Thuss who's had the biggest hit of this ball game. A 3-run home run to left field, and he certainly put a charge into it, sent it a long way over the left field fence. Hayden Jaco was tracking it for a moment and then said, okay, I don't have a shot at this one, and just watched it fly.
Both his home runs so far this year have been pretty astonishing to see. Really shown that pull side power. I think his other one on the road that he hit was just clobbered. I think the hardest hit one that we saw in that game. So he's got the power, and obviously we've been seeing it result in him getting a few more starts as well in a lot of these games. So it's a good contact and some clutch hits like we saw as well.
Tucker Zadunik will step into the batter's box here now for the Majors. Zadunik flew out at his only trip to the plate in the ball game. Waves that one comes up empty.
Zadunik was the one playing a few mental games with the third baseman there, with showing bunt, then swinging, then showing bunt, then swinging.
Lines this one straight back at the backstop, and it is quickly 0-2 on Tucker Zadunik.
Zadunik again batting .321 on the season, 27 hits in total, a few flashes of power as well, 6 home runs on the season.
0-2 on its way. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Good off speed there from Frank Garces, getting Zadunik to chase on the outside part of the plate.
Good effort there from Garces, getting some good swing and miss, going away on a lot of these batters, whether that be lefty, righty. Shows how good he is as a pitcher when he's able to get that movement away from these batters, no matter what side they're hitting from.
Jarrett Bernie into the batter's box now for the Majors. RBI single in his only trip to the plate. A ground ball that just snuck through the middle of the infield. First pitch, breaking ball, doesn't catch the zone. It's 1-0. That pitch misses, 2-0.
Jarrett Bernie, a bit of a tough go as of late. Again, .304 on the season as a whole. Batting just .211 over his last 5, though. That's 4 for 19 over that stretch.
Two-one count. 1 out. Garces speeds up the delivery and misses. 3-1. He's done that a few times and has missed every time. .3-1 on its way. Off the plate outside, ball 4. So Bernie works himself a walk, and the Majors have a 1-out base runner for the big bat of Adam Thuss.
Some good plate discipline there. Obviously, pretty tough to hold back on a few of those pitches, especially with how sharp Garces has been in terms of getting those away pitches, pounding inside, but still keeping it close in terms of where it's located in the strike zone. It takes a lot of restraint to work a walk on someone like Frank Garces, so good effort there from Bernie.
Garces at 60 pitches now in the ball game. Bernie has speed. He's running. Thus rips this one down the left field line, but it's foul. Nearly extra bases again for Adam Thus, but instead it's an 0-1 count.
This is already pretty similar to his last at-bat, where he had another one in a pretty similar location, just a few feet away from that foul line in left.
Bernie taking his time to get back to that first base bag. Was running on the first pitch of the at-bat. Certainly has had a lot of stolen bases this season. The pitch, slide step from Garces, hit on the ground, foul by Thus, and he's behind in the count, 0-2.
I wouldn't be too surprised if Garces kept going in with his pitches towards Thus here. Obviously, Thus has been pulling quite a lot, getting pretty close to the line on every single one of his at-bats so far that he's had. Keep going in, you might get swing and miss, or you might get a bit of a funky pop-up from Thus as well. In any case, with the power that he's displayed already, you're avoiding potential danger by going middle towards the outer part of the plate.
0-2. Hit on the ground, in the hole, onto his left, makes the stop, throws to second for one, on to first, it's up the line. Thus racing to second. He will get in there safely as Bernie is retired at the second base bag. Majors have a runner in scoring position with 2 out now.
Good spot, a tough one. I think a lot of that can be attributed to just how quick Jarrett Bernie is in terms of getting towards second. Kind of a dicey play, would have been tight over there. But if you're Bernie, you did the exact thing you needed to do, get a good break over towards the base. A little bit of a late dive, a late stride over there to try and put the second baseman, the shortstop, a little bit off their footing to make it a funky throw back over towards first, and a good effort from Thus to hustle it over towards the first base bag.
So fielder's choice and an error there allows Thus to get to second base, and Xavier Whittle will step into the batter's box with 2 out in the inning. Hits this one hard, back up the middle. It'll be played by Brandon Hernandez to his left, throws across the diamond, and that will end the inning. Majors get a couple of base runners, but can't capitalize. They continue to lead, though, by a score of 4-1 through 4 innings. You're watching Majors Baseball on Majors TV.
Canada's ball teams deserve uniforms built to win. VMS Sportswear delivers custom jerseys, pants, and caps. Level up your look with custom team apparel. Choose your colors. Drop your logo. Own your look. Order now at vmssportswear.ca.
Step it up, keep on thriving. We trying, keep shining, living in a world where we colliding.
When we're together, amazing things happen. Feel what it means to be greater together.
Right at the corner of Warncliffe and Emery, Ellie's Pizzeria is your neighborhood spot for real, handcrafted pizza. Using locally sourced flour for their dough and fresh ingredients from local farms for incredible flavor in every bite. Stop in before 3 p.m. for a slice and a pop for just $5, or 2 for $9. Ellie's Pizzeria, made local, made right.
Smoke alarms expire after 10 years. Check the date and test your smoke alarm today.
A working smoke alarm is a gift the whole family can enjoy.
Follow us online at LDNONT Fire.
Only on Canada Day do the kids get to run the bases in 2 innings. Now, I believe it is 50 different kids running the bases here. Don't know if we had a repeat champion there or not. I would hope and expect probably not, as a young fan runs right in front of Victor Payano with a crock in hand. Best spot to run back to get off the field, right in front of the pitcher. Here's a look at the replay. It's the young gentleman in a brown shirt battling with the blue hat. Blue hat touches third. Brown shirt does not. Blue hat racing in. And the blue hat, the integrity champion and the true champion of the kids running the bases. You'll love to see it. Absolutely love to see it. Congratulations to the young fan in the blue hat, winning the world-famous queso from Qdoba and taking home the second of 2 base running championships here on this Canada Day. Majors trying to limit the Baycats here as they come to the bats in the top of the 5th inning after they got on the board for the first time in the 4th.
Well, and you can't let life get too in favor of the Baycats here. Obviously, they got back into it in that last inning, got a couple of hits, got that first run of the ball game in there as well, and then a clean inning from Garces there. Momentum right now currently back in the favor of the Baycats, and if you're the Majors, if you're Victor Payano, you cannot let that fester for too long, even with a 4-1 lead. We've seen some blow-up games so far this season from almost every team. We've seen some come-from-behind wins, some battles back and forth, and if you're Payano and the Majors out there, you gotta shut things down quick.
Adam Odd will be the first batter of the 5th inning for Barrie. Takes a first pitch high for ball 1. For Payano thus far, 40 strikes on 58 pitches, has been tremendously efficient when it comes to finding the strike zone. Odd gets jammed and fouls it off. It is 1-1.
Been really sharp so far. His pitch mix has been exceptional as well, mainly pairing that fastball with the curveball, the back and forth there. Really keeping these batters on their toes, really moving these pitches around as well, whether that be your velocity or your breaking stuff.
This one fouled off by Adam Odd once again, so the count now 1 ball and 2 strikes here.
Again, Odd, he's had a couple flashes of power, but definitely more a contact player. 327 on the season, 368 over his last 5, 7 for 19. So been on a pretty good stretch as of late.
1-2, flared back at the backstop, and we'll try it again on 1 ball and 2 strikes. A lot of red in the crowd today as fans celebrate Canada Day at the ballpark. I see a couple of fans with some neck fans, and that is an investment that I should have made prior to today's game.
It's one of those ones that pay dividends, Dylan.
Absolutely, absolutely. 1-2. Nice breeze up here in the booth. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Payano down on strikes. Pardon me, Odd down on strikes, courtesy of Victor Payano. And there's one away.
So now strikeouts in every single inning so far, in the 3rd inning in a row where he's gotten things going via the strikeout. Best way to do it, get each inning off on as good of a note as you can. And again, this is really shaped into a classic Payano performance. 8 strikeouts so far.
First pitch to Wani Cyprian on the ground to 3rd. Lenahan plays it on the bounce, throws across the diamond in time. And there are 2 quick outs here in the top of the 5th inning.
Like I said earlier, if you're the Majors, you got to shut this inning down quick. Try and keep things in your favor momentum-wise. Defense really helping with that. Payano really helping with that. Good job by Lenahan to make that throw on what would have been a tight one with how soft it was hit over towards him. That kind of funky hop as well.
Brandon Hernandez in the batter's box now for Barrie. Takes a pitch in the dirt. It's ball 1.
Hernandez, almost the definition of the contact player on this squad so far. 333 average, just 1 home run on the season, but batting 372 over his last 10. That's 16 for 43 for anyone who's keeping track of the stats there.
Takes a strike. It's 1-1. Payano, so far in the ball game, has been under 15 pitches in every inning but the 4th, where he threw 23 and kind of shot his pitch count up a little bit. That one didn't miss by much. It's 2-1.
I think that's a good pitch that you got to do. Try and back him up off the plate a little bit. Likely coming back with a curveball here. One inside, kind of drifting away. Either that or try and hit that lower outer part of the strike zone with a fastball.
2-1, fouled back, and the count now 2 balls and 2 strikes. Payano looking for strikeout number 9 in the ball game.
Payano went back inside with another fastball there. We'll see if he makes it 3 in a row.
2-2, 2 out here in the top of the 5th inning. Payano readies. and delivers. Line straight back at the backstop, and we'll try it again on 2-2.
So did make it 3 in a row there. One right inside with a fastball. Good headspace there. I think even if you try and turn on it on a pitch like that, it's going to be tough to make good contact and make contact that stays inside the park as well. Tough not to turn that one foul.
Again on 2-2. A good breaking ball there from Payano, but wasn't a strike. Wanted the chase and didn't get one.
That was the curveball he was trying to set up for 3 pitches in a row there. Yeah, it didn't go his way. A bit too far inside. Would have been better to try and start that one at the sight line of the batter.
The 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Make it 9 in the ball game for Payano as he punches out Hernandez and sets the Baycats down 1-2-3 in the 5th.
That is now his 4th 3-up, 3-down inning that we've seen across 5 innings of ball so far. So yeah, apart from that 4th inning that got a little dicey at points, Payano has been as sharp as we've seen him so far this season.
Victor Payano is racking up the punch-outs right now as the Majors head back to the bats. In a game they lead 4-1. The game in Welland is underway. It's 4-0 Jackfish in the top of the 3rd inning, taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs at Welland Stadium. Of course, earlier today, Kitchener beat Guelph 14-7. Brantford beat Chatham 9-8. Our next out-of-town scoreboard update will come in the middle of the 7th inning when we take a look around the CBL. Once again, Frank Garces back out to the mound for the Barrie Baycats. Justin, 64 pitches through 4 innings of work for the Barrie left-hander.
Like we mentioned, like you mentioned a bit earlier, he's been pretty sharp so far apart from 1 inning. I think that's almost been the case for both these pitchers, arguably. Garces hit around a little bit more back in the 2nd, but he's really shut things down ever since. The Majors have not had a good opportunity to get things going, haven't been able to rack up back-to-back hits since the 2nd inning as well. So he's done a good job of slowing things down, really shifting after that 2nd inning. Like we've been seeing in those past innings, he's been most productive when he's throwing those pitches down and in on a lot of these batters. Hasn't gotten any real solid contact from anyone on any of those sorts of pitches. It's when he's been going a little bit too far down or a little bit away, he's gotten hit around on. That's almost what some of these batters are expecting and trying to hit for, it looks like.
Garces will face the top of the Majors order here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Michael Escato will step into the batter's box. Garces has had his number a little bit in this ball game. A ground out and a strikeout for Escato, and it's been some early swings, some reaches from Escato so far.
Escato almost looks like he's trying a bit too hard at times to get that hit. Sometimes this is definitely a game where precision matters. And if you're thinking about your swing a little bit too much, if you're thinking too much about, okay, how am I going to get the barrel to the ball, even just that little second of thinking can kind of throw you off. And for a guy that we're so used to getting consistent hits again, 41 on the season so far. Bit of a tough time, but would love to contribute so far today.
2-0 count here on Escato. Hitters count taking all the way. It is right down Main Street, and it is 2-1.
And that could have been the most beautiful pitch right down the middle, and yeah, he was not going to be swinging at much of anything there.
Garces speeds up the windup. Escato in the hole. Odd makes the play, throws across the diamond, throws it high again, but this time Matt Cabrota able to stay on the bag, and there's one away.
Good job there. Another dicey throw over towards first. Luckily, it's a little bit of a hop from Matt Cabrota over at first, not having to reach as far like he did in previous innings.
Christian Anoa will step into the batter's box now for the Majors. Another guy who has been held hitless at the top of the order. So far in the ball game, all of the Majors' top 3 have not found the hit column. Granted, only 3 Majors have, but kind of out of character, like you were talking about with Escato, that we see these 3 guys in particular held out of the hit column as Anoa takes a first pitch strike.
These are the guys that you're consistently expecting to make good contact, really get barrel to the ball, and shift it to pretty much all parts of the field if they can. So yeah, definitely a bit uncharacteristic so far today, but luckily the bottom half of the order has really kind of shifted and carried their weight to almost make up for it. But obviously if you're any of those top three guys, that's Escato and Noah Lenahan, you're itching to get involved in this ball game on the offensive front.
2-1 count here to Christian Inoa. Hard to understate just how great this pickup of Inoa has been for the Majors since they acquired him early in the season from the Ottawa Titans of the Frontier League. Swing and a miss there. It is 2-2 now.
Yeah, been pretty lights out. Made his presence known pretty quick in terms of his defensive capabilities over at second. Good enough to shift Jared Burney, who was playing second at the time, over towards center field to keep Inoa in the ballgame more actively and regularly, and then obviously been incredible when it comes to the offensive side.
Chops this one foul, and we'll try it again on 2 balls and 2 strikes. No action in either bullpen yet. The pitch count's not getting problematic for either pitcher, though with Garces up at 75, you could probably expect to see some movement over the next couple of innings, depending on how things go for the Baycats left-hander. Speeds up the windup again. Called strike 3. Freezes Inoa on the inside corner. The Majors' second baseman doesn't like it, but that's the second out of the home half of the 5th inning.
Yeah, Inoa clearly not happy, and Garces doing a good job to position himself to get calls like that with how much, we've mentioned it before, he's playing with that horizontal axis a lot to these batters, kind of going away on a pitch, then coming right back inside. If you do a couple back-to-back pitches on the outer part of the plate, you're kind of naturally wanting to shift that batter a little bit forward in the box, and then if you go inside, it may appear to be one well inside to the batter when it's actually getting the inside part of the plate instead.
Trent Lenahan into the box takes a strike. Justin, let's test your math knowledge quickly. You mentioned the horizontal axis. Is that the x-axis or is that the y-axis?
That's the x-axis.
Wow, you didn't even need a second to think about that one.
Easy.
You still remember your grade 9 math.
At least a little bit of it has held true up there. Not much else has.
1-1 count here to Trent Lenahan as he takes that pitch off the plate outside.
I think that and the mitochondria have
the powerhouse of the cell
racked up most of my high school math and science knowledge up there.
1-1. Ooh, that one didn't miss by much. Cyprian and Garces both thought it was a strike, but it's 2-1 here to Lenahan. Similar pitch to the one that rung up Inoa.
Yes, I was just about to say that same thing. Looked almost identical, at least from up here in the box.
Garces on the 2-1. Hit hard to second base. Diving stop by Francisco Hernandez, who throws to first in time to get Trent Lenahan. How about that play to end the bottom of the 5th inning as this one remains 4-1 here on Canada Day from Labatt Park.
Get ready, Chatham Kents. For the first time ever in the new Canadian Baseball League era, the 2026 All-Star Showdown is landing at Fergie Jenkins Field on the July 11th and 12th weekend. The All-Star weekend of the new CBL era. It's history in the making.
Everyone dreams of being great. Only a select few can be iconic. But only one is chosen. Introducing the Chosen One from Rawlings. The all-new one-piece composite iteration of the top-rated and established Icon BB Core bat.
Hockey isn't a game, it's a legacy. VMF Sportswear builds custom pro-level jerseys, socks, and apparel, like team hoodies and workout wear. Your colors, your crest, your identity. Create yours now.
Back now at Labatt Memorial Park as the vibes are good here at the ballpark and in the press box as the Majors lead by a score of 4-1. Get a look at a few young fans dancing along, and it'll be top of the order for the Barrie Baycats, just as it was for the London Majors in the bottom of the 5th. Here to lead off the 6th is Kenisi Joe will saunter into the batter's box.
Yeah, you mentioned it there. Vibes have been pretty high across the board, but out on the field, things have slowed down a little bit. Obviously, we had that pretty active second inning, a little bit of action in the 4th for the Baycats, but besides that, it's been quite a few 3-up, 3-down innings on both sides of this game. So, been an interesting Canada Day game so far, but in any case, like you mentioned, up here in the box and out in the stands, everyone's having a good time.
Ejo 0 for 2 in the ball game. First pitch waved at and missed. It's 0-1.
Five runs, 5 hits so far combined between the two teams. So comparatively with some of the games that we've seen, especially on the majors front over the past few, this is a drastic change from what we've been used to over the past week.
You can kind of expect that with the top 2 teams in the CBL facing off. You don't expect it to be too crazy. One, cut on and missed. It's 1-2.
Ejo been the big power guy for the Baycats this season. 8 home runs, 27 RBIs as well. One of the big contributors to how well the Baycats have been doing here in 2026. A tougher time as of late on the contact front, though. 6 for his last 26 and a .231 average.
Goes down on strikes right there. Victor Payano has set down Kenisi Ejo on strikes for the 3rd time in this ball game.
So for context on just how good Payano has been so far this game, his previous highest strikeout count was back on May 29th against the Maple Leafs. He struck out 8 batters in this one. He's now already up to double digits and still no signs of activity over in the Majors bullpen as well.
Edgar Figueroa will step into the batter's box here. Whoa, that pitch sails and misses up and in. Ball 1.
Never a fun pitch to look at if you're in the box. Those are the ones that make your heart stop for a quick second of, oh no, do I take this? Am I going to get hit or do I take a step back? Very uncomfortable at-bat, to say the least, in a position like that.
So Payano now working from behind in the count. 1-0 on its way. Ooh, Diolio couldn't hold on to that one. Might have been a strike if he did. It's 2-0.
Yeah, it almost looked like for a second he tried to frame up a ball that wasn't there. Definitely kind of held true after it bounced off his glove. So I think you are right. It probably would have been a strike if he came up with it cleanly.
So hitters count here for Figueroa at 2-0. Whittle in just a little bit over at first for the Majors. That pitch there for a strike. It is 2-1.
Good pitch. I think that one was almost right on the outer edge of the zone. So now that he got that strike call, I wouldn't be too surprised if Payano started playing with that line a little bit more in this at-bat.
2-1, here's the pitch. Misses. 3-1 now, so Figueroa very much in control of this at-bat at the moment.
We've seen a lot of fastballs from Payano so far. With the restraint that we've been seeing from Figueroa, I wouldn't be shocked if he was trying to sit on one of those breaking curveballs.
3-1. Ooh, that one didn't miss by much. Inoa throws his arms up in the air at second base as Figueroa works a walk. And the Baycats have a base runner on the first free pass that Victor Payano has issued all night.
I think there were at least 3 pitches in that at-bat that looked to be on the outer part of the plate pretty actively. They looked to be in the same, to go back to the y-axis and x-axis talked, it looked like they were all pretty in line with the outer part of the plate, just different height in the box. And I think that was, from at least up here, the only big difference in some of those pitches, but we ended up getting 1 strike call, 2 ball calls there.
Francisco Hernandez into the batter's box here for the Baycats. First pitch he sees is in there for a strike. It's 0-1 as Payano reaches the 80 pitch mark in the ball game.
Payano trying to make an immediate mental shift, was very fastball heavy in that last at-bat. Starts this one off right off the get-go with a curveball.
0-1 squaring around as Hernandez went around. It's 0-2 as he comes up empty.
If you're going for the double play, you go with another curveball down in the zone. If you just want the strikeout in that 0-2 count, probably something upstairs or inside with a fastball.
0-2, 1 out. Double play in order here. But some speed on the base paths in Figueroa and Hernandez at the plate. Pitch from Payano. Running is Figueroa. That one fouled straight back, so we'll try it again on 0-2.
A bit tough to try and make that break for second on an 0-2 count. Obviously, you want to eliminate the double play action by getting a good jump over to second if you're Figueroa over there, but a bit dicey too when you know that if there is a pitch in the zone, Hernandez has to swing at it. He can't take a pitch and allow you to steal the base.
Time called here at the plate by the batter, Hernandez. Didn't like the long hold from Payano.
It still looks like Payano has not moved. That's the first movement that we saw since he was ready to pitch.
That one hit hard up the middle. It's through for a base hit. So a 2-out single for Francisco Hernandez as Figueroa charges to third. Heads up base running there from Figueroa, and it's runners on the corners with just 1 out in the inning for the Baycats.
Dangerous spot now for the Majors. Similar makeup back in the 4th inning when that first run came around. Looks like Rube Chanderdat's going to go talk to his pitcher on the mound. Doesn't look like there's any activity over in the Majors bullpen, so I think, again, just trying to get a bit of game plan over in Payano's head, slow things down a tad for him.
Yeah, just settle the pitcher in. Victor Payano is normally the one who goes out for this mound visit when he's not on the mound, but of course with him on the rubber right now, it's Rube Chanderdat going out there and just trying to settle everybody here ahead of a big at-bat against Ryan Rio.
And I think you're right. I think it is entirely just trying to calm your pitcher down a bit. I don't think there's much gameplay talk in a meeting like that, particularly with Payano being the pitching coach on this team. He knows the mental side. He knows the pitches to throw. He's the one who will go out and convey those messages to other pitchers on the mound in those similar scenarios. So I think that was entirely just a, hey, you're okay. Take a minute, slow things down. Just face this next batter head on.
So Rio against Payano here. Hernandez at first, Figueroa at third. Rio skies this one foul territory. Whittle giving it a look, but it is several rows deep and bounces off the grandstand. A nice catch made by a fan in a blue t-shirt out there. And how about that? The young fan next to him, very happy.
I think on that swing, Rio had one thing in mind, and that was, I want to hit a bomb right now. That was quite the turn that we saw from him, to say the least.
He had his eyes set on Riverside Drive and behind the right field fence. 0-1 to him, fastball, sails up and in. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Rio is the tying run at the plate, so if he does go deep here, the game would be even at 4 aside.
I think it's a bit of a tough call right now on what pitch you go for. If you try and go for something off speed with how much Rio can turn on it, he's likely to maybe not hit a bomb if it's down on the zone, but at least get it far enough to score another run.
Hernandez running from first, breaking ball. Diolio's throw not in time, and Figueroa thought about running from third. Did not, and Escato held onto the baseball. So 2 runners in scoring position now. No more possibility of the double play. And the infield will be drawn in for the Majors.
Baycats would love to cash in. They have the 1 run in the ball game, but they are 0 for 3 with runners in scoring position today.
2-1 count here on Rio after the 1-1 missed. Here's the offering. Outside corner, 2-2. Don't think Rio liked that one.
I think it's a good change right now if you are Payano on the mound. I think, if anything, having that runner off first over at second will clear his mind a little bit. You don't have to worry about the double play ball as much. You can just focus on the batter alone. Kind of change your pitch mix from there. You don't have to solely target the lower part of the plate. You can kind of be a little bit more free, which I think will pay off in his favor a bit.
2-2. Infield in. One away in the inning. Escato shaded middle at shortstop. Rio belts this one left center field, slicing away from the outfielders. It's going to get down. It'll roll all the way to the wall. Figueroa comes in to score easily. Hernandez right behind him. It's a 2-run double for Ryan Rio, and it's a 1-run game here at Labatt Park.
Big game changer right there for the Baycats. That's exactly what you needed. Hit it to a great part on the field. Obviously, neither Thus or Bernie were going to be able to get there pretty cleanly with where it was hit. I think they were more worried that that one was going to go over the fence, so they're probably happy it at least stayed in the ballpark, but a lot of damage done right now and still 1 runner in scoring.
1 out in the inning as Miguel Sereno starts to get loose for the Majors in the bullpen. Right-hander loosening up. Rio at second, Macabrota in the box. Here's the offering. Breaking ball, loops in there for a strike. It's 0-1. Macabrota thought it was high. Long hold from Payano here ahead of delivering the 0-1 pitch. It misses for ball 1.
Macabrota again, 293 on the season, 22 hits so far. Tied for 3rd in the hit column for the Baycats. But has been pretty helpful on the RBI front. 13 so far. Still quite the distance between behind Ejo with 27, but next highest.
Macabrota not a fan of that call either, as it's 1-2 here on the Baycats first baseman. Payano at 91 pitches. 10 punch-outs in the ball game. 1 out in the inning. Rio in scoring position. He is the tying run.
Go there again, Payano.
Breaking ball. Macabrota center field, slicing towards Bernie. He makes the catch. That's a big out. And there's 2 away.
That is a huge out right now. And I think especially where it was hit with how Bernie had to have so much momentum shifting towards the infield to make that one, that's exactly what you needed. Even further back, if you had Bernie sit back on it, not have to move forward, that could be a little bit dicey in terms of letting the runner advance. But obviously that much momentum coming towards the infield. If you're Rio over at second, really not a whole lot you can do about it.
Hayden Jaco into the batter's box here for Barrie. Still has the tying run in scoring position, now with 2 out. Hits this one hard, gets over the glove of Lenahan, down the line. Rio getting the wave around third. Here comes the throw from Adam Thus. It will go into second. It's a game-tying double for Hayden Jaco, and it's 4-4 here at Labatt Park.
We've seen some incredible defensive stops from Lenahan over at third, but that one, the funky hop, it would have been really, really tough to make that play. You can't make all of them. That one just gets through the infield over towards the outfield grass. A good effort, but an even better hit off the bat of Jaco there.
So Adam on into the batter's box now. Go-ahead run in scoring position as the inning rolls along here. Sereno still getting loose in the Majors bullpen. Long hold from Payano. Kicks and delivers. There for a strike, 0-1.
Great momentum change for the Baycats so far. If you're Barrie, you just want to keep a lot of this rolling.
Jaco dancing at second, takes a huge lead, but not running. Breaking ball, strike 2 to Odd.
Oh-2 count. I think you go a little bit further in that direction with this pitch. Called strike there. You might be able to induce a bit of a swing and miss. Try and go for that strikeout, which he's been pretty confident in so far this game. 10 across the board.
Called strike 3. Freezes out of the breaking ball and ends the inning, but not before the Barrie Baycats strike for 3 and tie this game at 4-4.
A tough one, but it's made it a bit more exciting. Obviously, the Majors got off with those 4 runs in the second inning. We're really coasting from there, but we know how this league goes. It does not take a whole lot for things to shift. We've seen so many lead changes in the 2026 season, and I think the Majors are at least happy that it's tied and didn't end up falling behind by a run or 2 there.
Absolutely, Payano limiting the damage with the go-ahead run in scoring position. Let's check in again with Evan Fredericks. And Evan, I hope you're keeping cool down there.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. I'm doing very cool. I feel great. And it's time to take a look at the Majors' upcoming schedule because it's a perfect time for them to rack up some wins. Now, it all starts with winning tonight here in Barrie. And as you just saw, Barrie just had a very, very good inning. But if you look at the upcoming schedule, their next 3 games are up against non-playoff teams. You got Chatham here on Friday, and then a road trip to Toronto, and then Chatham again. The Majors are 9-2 against non-playoff teams, and I think it'll make Group Trinidad very, very happy if the Majors could string along some wins when it comes down to the All-Star break. Guys?
I think you are 100% right there, Evan. If there is a string of games where they need to try and get things back in their favor, it is right now. Obviously, a couple tough losses in those previous games. Even talking to Roop about it beforehand, obviously, it can get in some of these players' heads when you not only lose, but lose by that many runs. So I think they're really relying on a game like today to try and get that win. But if they can't today, they'll be itching to try and get those wins against a few, quote-unquote, easier teams in terms of the standings over the next break coming up.
Absolutely, Justin. Just to give everybody a behind-the-scenes look at the teamwork of the broadcast booth. Now, Ellie's Pizzeria is our food sponsor this year, and they make such terrific pizza. I got a hankering for some pizza in the 5th inning, so I grabbed myself a slice. Didn't have time to finish it, so while Evan was speaking, I thought I would have another bite. Now, I wasn't quite ready for when Evan wrapped up. So he wrapped up through to us, and I quickly pointed at Justin and said, Justin, you go, you take it. And seamlessly, Justin Koehler jumped in. So thank you, Justin, as we get set to resume here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Hey, I hear you. It's good pizza.
It is really good pizza.
I've never had pizza that is so good cold for any cold pizza fans. It is exceptional, and I would argue better than it is hot, but that's just me.
Well, it's certainly not warm in the 6th inning after we got it a couple of hours prior to game time. Starling Joseph to lead things off here in the 6th. Takes a pitch that misses. It's ball 1.
You know, we're a little bit tough in that spot because before game time, we're getting so much prep done in terms of looking at these players, getting the rosters all drawn up, everything on that front. I usually don't have my first slice until the end of the game.
1-1. I can't say the same, Justin. That is my second slice of the day. I have no shame in admitting it. Count even here on Joseph. Garces speeds up the delivery. Joseph fouls it off. It's 1-2. New life breathed into the Barrie Baycats right now after they tie the game in the top of the 6th inning. Everybody just seems more alert on defense, moving on that last foul ball from Joseph.
If you're the Majors, the one bit of a speck of hope that you got in your direction is back in the 2nd when they had that big run. They scored those 4 runs. It all started with a Joseph walk. It all started with Joseph's at-bats. They'd love to replicate things here in the 6th.
1-2. Joseph puts a charge into this one to center field. Ejo moving back. He's got room, and he makes the catch. Deepest part of the ballpark for Starling Joseph, and Kenise Ejo records the first out.
A good effort there, and that just shows how big time can be a big factor in this game. Obviously, that sunshine was a big factor for Jared Burney for one of those plays back in center field earlier on. But as the sun has gotten lower, it's shifted a bit more to the left part of the ballpark, casting a bit more of a shadow towards the right. So on a play like that, there's not as much sun that you have to worry about if you're the center fielder.
Eduardo Diolio into the batter's box here now. Fouls off the breaking ball from Garces there. It's 0-1.
Again, it looks like Diolio has one thing in mind, and that is, I want to hit a home run. Every one of these swings that we've been seeing from him over the past few weeks has been a lot of power, some good pull, but it's just not been able to square it up too cleanly.
Fouled off by Diolio, 0-2 after a couple of foul balls.
And obviously one of the big hearts and souls of this team, a mainstay over the past few years, a fan favorite as well. The Majors have done incredibly well so far this season, but they, I think, collectively would love for Diolio to get that power in his bat back once again.
0-2, that pitch misses, doesn't chase, and it is 1-2 now on Diolio.
Diolio still pretty sharp in the hit column, 28 on the season so far. It's third on the Majors roster right now.
Garces speeds up the delivery. Diolio smokes it to the bullpen, heads up down there. Zach Laird had to make quite the play to keep it away from Miguel Sereno. He didn't catch it, but he got in the way of it.
Even if you're in the bullpen, your mindset is always on the game right in front of you. A good heads up from him.
One-two on the way. Diolio smokes this one right center field gap. That one's going to split the outfielders and go all the way to the wall. Diolio will pull up into second base here. He's got a one-out double, and the Majors have the go-ahead run in scoring position.
It might be one of the louder reactions we've seen from the crowd here at Labatt Memorial Park tonight. Obviously, the City of London loves Eduardo Diolio and loves hits like that. Pretty much split a right fielder and the center fielder there. One of the best parts on the ballpark to hit to. So great at-bat and a good hit, giving the Majors a bit of life here in the bottom of the sixth.
Tucker Zadunik into the batter's box now for London. 0-2 against the lefty. Garces on the mound. First pitch to him inside corner, strike one.
If you're Zadunik, you would love to do the same thing. Bit tough defensively sometimes to line up Zadunik in terms of his ability to hit balls the other way.
Swing and a miss, 0-2. Zadunik behind in the count.
Defensively, we are seeing a pretty big gap over in right center. Ejo's playing pretty well right up Main Street. Jaco over in left, a bit more shifted towards center. Then Figueroa pretty much in the main spot over in right.
Swing and a miss, strike three. So Zadunik down on 3 pitches. It's the 5th strikeout of the ball game for Frank Garces, and there's 2 away with Jarrett Burney stepping into the batter's box.
Tough one there, tough battle. Obviously, Garces still has his stuff late in the game. Really good battle between these two pitchers so far. Each have gotten hit around a little bit in their own separate innings. But Garces in particular has been really, really good at slowing things down since the second.
Burney drove home the first Majors run of this ball game. Looking to push across the go-ahead run once again. 1-0 as that pitch misses inside.
A good point there. The one who really got the Majors rally going. Obviously a little overshadowed by that 3-run bomb by Adam Thuss.
Hit hard up the middle, gets a piece of Garces on the mound. He'll throw over to first, and it's in time. So a little bit of bad luck for Jarrett Burney as that ball hits the pitcher and ends the inning. Majors strand a runner in scoring position. This one remains tied. It's 4-4.
Get ready, Chatham Cats. For the first time ever in the new Canadian Baseball League era, the 2026 All-Star Showdown is landing at Fergie Jenkins Field on the July 11th and 12th weekend. The league's top talent all in one place. Watch the full slate of skills competitions, including the popular Home Run Derby on Saturday, and on Sunday, the ultimate 2026 CBL All-Star Game featuring your favorite players for a mid-season showdown. Chatham Cats, it's our time. The All-Star Weekend of the new CBL era. It's history in the making.
Make a bold statement with the Champ Chain, the ultimate award for champions. At 5 to 6 inches wide, this eye-catching medal is built to impress, fully customized with your logo and cut to shape. From the court to the boardroom, this award brings energy and attitude to every celebration. Great for recognizing your MVPs, players of the game, or hardest worker. Level up your recognition game with the Champ Chain. Order yours today at Nuthers.com or call 1-800-265-1554.
To be the best, you've got to bring performance from every second. The game is getting faster every season. So Rawlings made a time machine to help you keep up. Introducing the all-new Velo ACP. It's light, it's balanced, so you can pick your pitch and drive the ball with maximum exit velocity. The game's gotten faster. Your bat has too.
So right off the
Now at Labatt Memorial Park, new arm on the mound for the London Majors. Justin, they go from a left-hander to a right-hander in Miguel Sereno.
Yeah, Miguel Sereno been pretty sharp so far this season. A 2.84 ERA, 12 2/3 innings pitch. Giving up 9 hits, just 4 earned runs. Some good strikeout numbers, a good ratio as well. 7 strikeouts compared to 3 walks on the season. So pretty sharp, a pretty clutch player so far. His last appearance gave up 1 run. But besides that, has been fairly sharp across his 2026 campaign.
Got to look there at the final line for Victor Payano in today's game. A solid performance, ran into a little bit of trouble in the 6th inning. Wandy Cyprian, the first batter to greet Sereno, takes a strike. It's 0-1. Sereno, right-hander that comes with kind of a crossfire delivery almost. Cyprian sends this one in the air to left field, thus racing after it towards the line. Long run. He makes the catch in foul territory, and there's one away.
Good effort from Thus over there. That one was an absolute rocket up in the sky. Really turned on that one. A lot of lift, a good amount of power, but yeah, straight up there. So good effort from Thus to not only track it, but have that sliding play over there.
So that'll bring up the number 9 hitter, Brandon Hernandez here. Hernandez was 0 for 2 against Victor Payano. First pitch from Sereno on the outside corner for strike 1. Hernandez didn't like it. Oh, 1. Similar spot. Doesn't get the call there, and it's 1-1.
Hernandez, again, his 3rd season with the Baycats. .338 average on the year.
Fouled off of Diolio there at the plate. That one took a chunk out of him, so the home plate umpire, Stephen Gomes, will give him a second to reset. Diolio a little bit shaken up, laughing it off, though, with Hernandez.
Not the first bit of damage that we've seen Diolio take this season, but an absolute mainstay behind the plate. Never fun to take one like that, but he's been really taking him like a champ pretty much since he got going behind the plate for the majors.
1-2, here's the pitch. Laced foul, heads up over there. My goodness. That one was hit hard down the left field line. Danger zone in the bleachers. 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Sereno gets Hernandez swinging, and there's 2 away.
Seen some great stuff from Sereno this year, like we mentioned. Really quick start to his appearance here on Canada Day. Great strikeout, great pitch mix from him as well, and I think a lot of that can be partly attributed to the sight line difference that these pitchers are having to battle with. Obviously, there was a bit more of a vertical lift to how Payano has his approach and his delivery. You kind of mentioned there it's very drastically different, almost coming in a little sideways from Sereno on the mound. So you're not only having to battle a different side, a lefty versus a righty, but you're having to battle those different deliveries as well.
Ejo tried to check his swing, did not go, says the first base umpire. 1-1 count here. Ejo, 3 strikeouts against Victor Payano. He's perhaps the most relieved of anybody that he's out of the ball game. Swing and a miss. 1-2.
Sereno just really pounding that strike zone so far. Forcing a lot of these batters to swing at most of the pitches that they're seeing. See if it results in another strikeout or not.
1-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. Foul tip held onto by DiOlio, and a terrific inning of work for Miguel Sereno, keeping this one tied heading into the 7th inning stretch.
Great effort from him there, some great pitches. Efficient, which is always great to see. You love not only being able to get a 3-up, 3-down inning, but do it in pretty quick fashion. It's almost a mood killer if you're the other team when you're like, oh, we only just started batting. This half inning is already over. What happened? It can really have a big impact on the mindset of the other team, which I think in a tie ball game when a lot of momentum is shifted towards the Baycats, that's something you really got to try and double down on if you're the Majors.
Absolutely. Let's take a look now at the out-of-town scoreboard. Here today, just one game on the go right now. It's in Welland. Welland was up big last time we checked in, but Toronto has closed the gap a little bit. 5-4 Jackfish lead in the bottom of the 4th inning. Jackfish are at the plate, runner over at third with 1 out in the frame.
Toronto has had a few difficult games, I would say, so far this season. Obviously, I believe they're in last place in the standings right now. They have so many good tools at their disposal, a lot that they can work with. They just have not really clicked collectively so far this season. And I think a good effort from them to at least be keeping pace pretty well with Welland. Obviously, a win there would be pretty huge for the Maple Leafs.
Absolutely, it would be, Justin. A massive victory against Welland if they can pull it off. Crowd is into it, singing along here in the 7th inning stretch. Always special here on Canada Day. It is my personal favorite game of the year just because of the festive mood everybody is in, and excited to see what should be a good finish here in this one, no matter which way it goes in the end. A 4-4 game heading into the bottom of the 7th inning. Frank Garces is back out there, sitting at 92 pitches for the contest, Justin.
He's been lights out so far. Like we've mentioned a few times, he gave up a few hits back in the 2nd inning. That's where the Majors got pretty much all their damage done today. But since then, he has really slowed it down and really gotten in the heads of these Majors batters. Just a walk in the 4th, a 3-up, 3-down inning in the 5th, a double in the 6th. Collectively, really no damage done since the 2nd. It's just been a really sharp effort from him so far.
No damage done since the 2nd. No action in that Barrie Baycats bullpen. Despite the elevated pitch count, this inning belongs to Frank Garces, at least to start things off. First pitch in there for a strike to Adam Thuss. It's 0-1. Garces into the windup. Swing and a miss, 0-2.
Thus, obviously, that big 3-run bomb back in the 2nd to put an exclamation mark on the inning for the Majors. I love the change of pace that we're seeing from Garces so far. Was very quick on that last pitch, really took his time on this one.
Rolled over there by Thuss, and it will trickle foul. So the count will remain no balls and 2 strikes.
If you're the Majors, I think we've seen a lot of players in a home run mindset, which I think so far this season has bitten them a few times. I think they've been really working best when they are catering towards a hit-and-run strategies, stealing bases, going for more small ball activity. I think that's where they've really been thriving. And with how much oomph they're putting into these swings, I don't think it's been really playing to their favor so far and biting them a few times.
Adam Thuss down on strikes there for the first out of the home half of the 7th inning. And let's just have a listen.
Now batting, number 35, Cleveland
You know this one extra meaningful for Cleveland Brownlee, stepping into the batter's box. Crowd on their feet to welcome him. Just his 2nd plate appearance this season, coming here on Canada Day. What a moment for Cleveland as the Majors at the plate in a tied game. Batting in the spot of Xavier Whittle. Inside ball 1.
His other at-bat came just in that last matchup on Friday. Didn't go his favor then, but an absolute legend here in the city of London.
1-0, Brownlee waves and misses. It's 1-1. Cleveland hit his 100th career home run back on Canada Day 2019. So a day that has extra meaning for Cleveland. 1-1. Sends this one to center field. Ejo taking a few steps in. He's right there. And Brownlee is retired for the second out of the inning.
In any case, fly out or not, the crowd here at Labatt Memorial Park loves that man, Cleveland Brownlee. Loved in the city of London, not just here at the ballpark. Loved by the fans, loved by the teammates around him, and is just huge on any team that he is on, and Majors love him.
Michael Escato into the batter's box here, taking all the way. It's ball 1 from Garces there as he reaches 99 pitches here in the ball game.
Escato still looking to contribute on the offensive side in this one.
One, 2 out.
Escato again, not only dominating in the hit category for the Majors, but across the league as well. Not a lot of RBIs, but he's been dominant at the leadoff spot for the Majors this season.
2-1 count, 2 away here in the inning. Majors have been very quiet at the plate since the second. Frank Garces over 100 pitches. No action in the bullpen as Escato fouls this one off. It's 2-2. Lights have come on here at Labatt Park, brightening things up. 2-2, 2 out. Escato ready in the box. Garces from the wind up the pitch. Misses. 3-2 now on Escato. 3-2 count, 2 away. Big pitch coming up. Garces taking his time on the mound to get set. Escato ready in the batter's box. Here's the payoff. Ball 4. Escato works a walk. He's on base for the first time in this one. And the Majors have a 2-out base runner.
I really liked that quote-unquote bat flip, just kind of tossing it over his shoulder there. You could definitely tell that Escato was wanting to get on base in a big game like a Canada Day matchup. So hit or walk, he is happy to be on the base paths today.
Christian Inoa into the batter's box here for the Majors. Big spot. Go-ahead run is aboard in the form of Michael Escato standing at first. Here's the pitch. Inoa loses the bat, heads up, fouled off, and goes flying.
It looked like I saw a bit of the knob of the bat come off. There was definitely something that came off with it, whether it be one of the thumb guards or the actual knob of the bat. It looked like something came off of it there and just had it slip right through his hands.
Inoa getting some spray on his hands and on the bat to make sure he's got that grip the way he wants it.
I think the big difference in today's matchup will be if the top part of the order can get things going. Obviously, we've seen a lot of the damage done from the bottom half of the lineup, with the middle part of the order kind of getting a lot of those runs, but the top half has been pretty silent so far. That's the first base runner that we've seen from the top 3 spots in the order today. That walk by Escato there.
A full count walk by Michael Escato. You mentioned it, Justin. The only base runner that has been generated from the top of the majors order. Inoa behind in the count, 0-2 here with 2 away. Wouldn't be shocked if we see Escato on the move just in case Inoa is able to put the ball into a gap. Garza's ready on the rubber. Pitch number 108 on its way. Left-hander delivers. Escato is running. Inoa lines this one to center field. Ijo coming in, makes the catch on a slide to end the inning. This one remains tied at 4-4 as we head to the late stages of the ball game. Going to the top of the 8th. We're even on Majors TV.
So right off the bat, what's your least favorite food? Oh, you brought fish. Okay, I get that. What are some of your go-to foods that you love? Oh, more props. Great, wicked. Fruits and vegetables. Great pick. You know, incredibly important. I'm sure a lot of the London majors will agree with you. I'm gonna have to have you clean that up, though. You know, I'm not here to be a janitor.
To be the best, you've got to ring performance from every second. The game is getting faster every season. So Rawlings made a time machine to help you keep up. Introducing the all-new Velo ACP. It's light, it's balanced, so you can pick your pitch and drive the ball with maximum exit velocity. The game's gotten faster. Your bat has too.
Back now at Labatt Memorial Park. Get a look at the line score in today's game. 4-4 is the score between the Baycats and the Majors here on Majors TV. Miguel Sereno back out there for his second inning of work. And why not, Justin? He was tremendously effective in his last inning.
Yeah, if he can do exactly the same thing he did last inning, I think everyone would have a pretty good smile on their face. Two strikeouts and efficient, to say the least. Very, very quick effort, and I think if he could do the same thing right now, it's exactly what he'd want out there.
Some defensive changes here for the Majors. David Dreyers comes into the spot of Cleveland Brownlee after he pinch hit for Xavier Whittle. Dreyers goes over to third base. Trent Lenahan moves from third to first. Edgar Figueroa will lead off the top of the 8th inning here on this beautiful Canada Day evening. First pitch misses for ball 1. As the sun is setting, the temperature continues to drop.
Yeah, it really turned into a nice night here in London. Obviously, big blue sky after that big ominous cloud we saw before the game.
That one rolled foul. 1-1. Skylar Janice, as you just saw on your screen, getting loose in the Majors bullpen. I would expect that the 9th inning will be his, regardless of score, Justin.
I think you are exactly right. The big man for the Majors in terms of closing. Walking away in the saves category as well, which I think the only real detraction with that jump to the CBL has been some of these blowout games and big loss in saves for some of these relievers.
Count now 2-2 or 2-1, unsure. A little bit of a discrepancy here between the board and our count. That one rolled foul. Well, now I know it's 2-2.
Now, no matter what. Got to keep us on our toes sometimes as well.
Absolutely. In fairness, the board did say 1-1. Or anyway, 2-2 is the count now. 2-2 is the count now. That's what we know.
Let's go by the facts here of this game. It is 2-2.
Sereno into the windup. Here's the pitch to Figueroa. In the dirt. DeOlio couldn't pick it. Count runs full now on the number 2 hitter.
Good at bat from Figueroa so far, especially with how efficient Sereno was in the last inning. I think anything that you can do to get things back in the batter's favor, add a few more pitches to his count.
Chopped up the middle, moving over. Noah takes a high bounce, gets over him into right. A high chopper. Inoa waited for the big hop, and it hopped right over him.
You know, the ball knew he was going to try and hop for it and tried to deke him out there. And a tough one no matter what for almost any second baseman to make. It's the joys of the infield sometimes is when you get not exactly blessed with one of those funky hops coming right at you.
Francisco Hernandez into the batter's box, 2 for 3, a double and a run batted in. So a base runner here for the Baycats. It is the go-ahead run. And a little warning from Justin Snively, that baseball has to go out of play. Sereno went to his mouth and then went to the ball on the mound. That is ruled a single, by the way, for Figueroa as opposed to an error on Inoa. First pitch to Hernandez, misses for ball 1. David Dreyer is over at third, is in on the cut of the grass, protecting against a potential bunt.
I think that was a good pitch right there from Sereno inside. At worst, you back the batter up a smidge, get their mindset on the inner part of the plate, and then try and maybe go away outside.
That pitch misses, and the count now 2-0. Action is slowed in the Majors bullpen after Janice was getting loose. 2-0 pitch, swing and a miss, 2-1.
It looks like that's Zachary Laird now warming up and throwing over there.
Perhaps it would be Laird coming in the 8th if needed, and Janice for the 9th. Baycats do have a lefty-laden lineup here today. 2-1, Hernandez fouls it back, 2-2. Just to add to that point, Figueroa is left-handed. He's at first. Rio on deck, along with Macabrota after him left-handed. Jaco right-handed, Adam Odd left-handed. So out of the next 4 batters after Hernandez, 3 of them are lefties. Wandy Cyprian, the catcher, is a righty, and Brandon Hernandez, the shortstop, number 9 hitter, is left-handed as well. So more lefties than righties in this Baycats lineup, which would be advantage Laird in the matchup game. Runner going, Figueroa from first, throw from Diolio on the money. They nail him. A cut stealing in a huge spot for Eduardo Diolio. There's 1 out.
What a shot, what a throw. We've seen it time and time again from Diolio this season. Was a little off on an attempt earlier in the game, and that one, what a correction from him.
Figueroa was out by about 5 feet there. Great throw from Diolio. Full count here on Francisco Hernandez. Pitch from Cyprian on the way. In the air, shallow center. Tough play. Out goes Escato. He can't come up with it. Great effort there from Michael Escato, but couldn't quite make the grab. And so it's a bloop single for Francisco Hernandez that puts a runner on board for the Baycats once again.
You know it's going to be a tough play when you see 3 fielders absolutely hauling it to one spot on the field. No one was too sure who would grab it, who would come up with it. Tough play, a good spot.
Escato taking his time to get back to shortstop. Had a long run to just try to make a play on that baseball.
Well, it's never an easy run, and it's mentally a bit of a risky one as well. When you're hustling back so far, you're still looking forward at the ball. You never know who's going to be behind you. So it kind of makes the jaunt towards the field a little mentally draining as well for your shortstop.
Ryan Rio in the box, fouls off the first pitch he sees. It's 0-1.
Seen some good hacks from Rio in this one so far. 1 for 3, but even the ones that he's fouled off, he's really turned on.
0-1, Rio fouls it straight back, and it is 0-2 here in a hurry. Runner over at first after the bloop single for Hernandez. The caught stealing from Diolio, all the more important now. Sereno sets. Here's the pitch. rolled over towards second. Could be two. Inoa charges, only plays to first. So he gets Rio there, and there's 2 away now in the inning.
Good hustle from Hernandez over there to almost take that double play picture completely out of contention. Again, to your point a little bit earlier there, I think that caught stealing is now huge, because I think in an instant like that, especially that kind of bloop, the speed that we saw off Figueroa, that big jump from first, he would likely have been at third on that kind of bloop towards the outfield, and something like that probably could have cashed him in right there.
And now Majors manager Roop Chanderdat jogging out in a hurry. Runner in scoring position, 2 out. Zach Laird, the lefty, loosening up. Power hitting lefty, Nolan Macabrota in the batter's box. So we'll see if this is just a visit to check on Sereno or if that's the end of his outing here. It certainly appears to just be a check-in from Roop Chanderdat ahead of what is a big pitch or big at-bat with 2 out. Chanderdat will turn back and head to the dugout, so Sereno will get at least Macabrota. That's the 3rd mound visit used by the Majors in this game.
I think it's a good call. Obviously, Sereno has been pretty lights out in the previous inning. Been solid enough this inning. Just a couple of funky plays.
A lot of weak contact.
Exactly. So I think you can trust him to get out of this one because the base runners are not solely on him. You could argue, depending on the pitches, you could put him in that picture there. But he's been doing his job fairly well so far, and you can see the trust from Roop Chanderdat and him to shut things down with 2 outs.
Macabrota in the box. First pitch from Sereno off the plate outside. It's ball 1. Macabrota is 0 for 3 in the ball game, but is yet to face the right-handed Sereno, has faced exclusively the lefty Payano. 2 strikeouts and a lineout on his ledger in the ball game. Play on at second, throw from Sereno, not quite in time. Was a close one though, and Hernandez skips back there.
Love seeing the smiles from both of them out there. They both kind of knew how close that was. A pretty tight attempt there.
1-0 count. 2 out in the inning. Sereno ready. Here's the pitch. Misses off the plate outside. 2 balls, no strikes.
I wouldn't be too shocked if Sereno...
And now he's got to get rid of another baseball here. So Justin Snively calls time for the same reason as the previous occurrence where Sereno went to his mouth and then to the ball while on the mound. Went directly to the ball as well. That is the other thing. You have to wipe it off if you go to your mouth. Mouth to pant leg first, and then you can touch the baseball. And I believe they've just awarded a ball here. The count says 3-0.
Yeah, you got that 1 warning, and 1 warning is all you get.
And now it's ball 4. So he walks Macabrota here after the automatic ball, and then a pitch that misses out of the zone. So that puts first and second here with 2 outs. Sereno saying that's ball 3. And I think they're going to have to explain to him that because that was the second time he went to his mouth, it was an automatic ball.
It almost looked like Sereno was, what I was going to say before all that action happened, is it looked like he was almost willing to pitch around a little bit to Macabrota there. I think this part of the lineup, it looks like Roop Chanderdat's going there to have a discussion about all that as well.
I think he's just seeking clarification here from Justin Snively, the umpire, and quick little discussion, and they'll both retreat back to their positions.
But I think between Macabrota and Jaco, 1 hit between them so far, and in terms of Macabrota, Jaco, and Odd, again, 1 hit between the 3 of them. So I think Sereno was a bit willing to pitch around a little bit with first base open, knowing that the next couple batters behind him, especially setting up Jaco, the righty here, a better matchup for you there potentially as a pitcher.
Jaco tied the game with a double in his last trip to the plate. First pitch to him here is a strike from Sereno. It's 0-1.
Two outs, but still a pretty dicey situation if you are the Majors. Been tied since the 6th, and obviously you want to come out with a big win on a Canada Day game.
0-1. Jaco rolls over on this one. Tough play for Anoa. He charges, throws to first in time. And Serino gets out of the jam and keeps it tied, heading to the bottom of the 8th inning.
Not quite as efficient as his last inning, but Serino still able to get through it cleanly. Pretty competitive so far. Love the life that we're still seeing between these two teams.
Get a look at the conversation between Miguel Serino and the home plate umpire Stephen Gomes here. I'm sure he'll talk to Justin Snively on the way by as well. Just making sure that he's on the same page about the infraction that he committed. And it appears that he is. So he will head back to the dugout, and the Majors will get to the bats. It's a good part of the order for the Majors coming up. It's 3, 4, and 5. Lenahan, Joseph DiOlio, and they are going to face 107 pitch Frank Garces back out there on the mound. We've seen Garces throw some outrageous numbers of pitches in his IBL career. I think he got up to 140 at one point in the late 2010s. A guy that can go deep. He's extremely efficient in terms of using his energy. He does not tire very easily, and he's sitting at 107 pitches right now, and he's back out there for his 8th inning of work with nobody up in the bullpen.
Yeah, I was just about to say, this isn't even a situation where they have someone warming up, even slightly, just in case things get out of hand for Garces. There is no life really over there at all, and just is a real testament to how much trust they have in Garces, how much weight they put behind their ace as well, and even just how sharp he's been in today's contest, apart from that second, slowing things down since.
Crowd making some noise here at the direction of public address announcer Eric Collins. Trying to cheer on their Majors. They try to regain the lead here in this ball game. They took a 4-0 lead back in the second, but have been held off the scoreboard since that point. Trent Lenahan will lead things off here in the home half of the 8th inning.
If there's a man who can try and give a bit of life to this Majors squad late in the game, it is Trent Lenahan. Obviously, we've talked about his contact abilities, his power abilities. Has not really shown it in today's contest, but the stuff is always there, and sometimes all it takes is a few more at-bats to find what you're looking for at the plate.
First pitch to Lenahan, line straight back at the backstop. It's 0-1. Some bodies out in the Barrie bullpen now, but no throwing or even stretching just yet. As I say that, we get some stretching down there. 0-1. Didn't miss by much. 1-1.
I think if you are Lenahan, get ready for a lot of pitches on the outer part of the plate. That has been the spot for Garces out there in terms of that matchup against Lenahan, consistently pounding the outer part of the plate against him.
2-1 now. Tried to go on the outside part of the plate once again, Justin, but missed. Lenahan looking out, 0 for on the day. Has been on base in every game but one this season. That's there for a strike, 2-2. That one game was one where he got thrown out in Toronto. And a Majors loss at Christie Pitts.
A tough one. Obviously, the Majors have done really well this season. Their road numbers not quite as good as their home numbers. And they'd like to prove that point with a big win today if they can.
2-2 count. Garces into the windup. Here's the pitch. Hit hard to third base. Odd gets a tough hop, makes the play nicely, throws across the diamond just in time to get Trent Lenahan. And there's one out here in the home half of the 8th inning.
There is a chance that that was the first inside pitch that Lenahan might have gotten all night so far. A tough one, especially when you're expecting all those outside pitches to finally get the one you're looking for. But just a little low in the zone, grounded over towards third.
Starling Joseph into the batter's box here for the Majors. He is also hitless in the contest.
He's contributed when it comes to a plate discipline perspective. That walk back in the second ended up coming around to score as well. But yeah, still itching for his first hit of the ball game.
Takes a strike on the inside part of the plate. Garces up at 113 pitches now. 0-1. Joseph wanted it, came up empty, 0-2.
Yeah, it looked like he was really trying to turn on that inside pitch to him.
Garces missed the throw back from Cyprian there and wants a new baseball as a result. Oh, 2 count. One away here in the inning. Garces from the windup. The pitch. Jams Joseph down the third base line. It's bobbled by Odd. Hopped over the bag, hopped off the glove of Adam Odd, and Starling Joseph is aboard with 1 out.
Well, his first hit of the ball game, but now his second, trying to get some momentum in the Majors' favor. That walk back in the second was the one that really got things rolling for the Majors in the inning where they scored all of their runs. The Majors would love that to happen once again with Joseph over on first. The big man Eduardo Diolio now in the box.
Diolio 2 for 3 in the ball game today. Drove 1 into the gap his last trip. Hoping for a similar result here. Go-ahead run is aboard here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Garces ready on the mound. Here's the pitch. Diolio couldn't quite wait on that breaking ball. Fouls it off, and it's 0-1. Zach Laird continuing to get loose in that Majors bullpen. Janice has sat down.
Big opportunity for the Majors and for Diolio here. Running out of innings to try and get ahead.
Diolio drives this one to left field, but drives it well foul. 0-2.
And that was the one that looked like it stopped a few hearts here at Labatt Memorial Park. Everyone kind of sunk in their seats for a moment, hoping that one would stay fair.
Majors have not been able to get much going against Garces since the second inning. Lefty looks in and comes set. The 0-2. Diolio on the ground to short, could be 2. Hernandez to Hernandez, on to first, in time, double play. Frank Garces threw 8 innings of work on 118 pitches. Sets down the Majors here in the 8th inning and keeps this ball game tied at 4-4, heading into the top of the 9th inning. You're watching an exciting finish between the Majors and the Baycats live on Majors TV.
Hockey isn't a game, it's a legacy. VMF Sportswear builds custom pro-level jerseys, socks, and apparel, like team hoodies and workout wear. Your colors, your crest, your identity. Create yours now.
Get ready, Chatham Kents. For the first time ever in the new Canadian Baseball League era, the 2026 All-Star Showdown is landing at Fergie Jenkins Field on the July 11th and 12th weekend. The All-Star weekend of the new CBL era. It's history in the making.
Stand out this season with the Jersey Acrylic Trophy, starting at just $15.95. Fully customizable with your team's logo, colors, and player details, and double-sided for twice the impact. A custom plate can be attached to the base for personalized engraving on each trophy. Great for player recognition. Ideal for keeper awards, participation trophies, or end-of-season celebrations. Order yours today at Nuthers.com or call 1-800-265-1554.
Back now at Labatt Memorial Park. Zach Laird apologizing to his catcher, Jaden Babiak, right now, who's getting some warm-up pitches. Laird bounced one, caught Babiak. Zach Laird into the ball game for the Majors. 14 innings of work, strikeouts per 9, glowing for the lefty.
Been a pretty consistent arm for the Majors so far. A lot of trust in him. Numbers a little inflated, a 5.79 ERA on the season. He's pitched in 10 games so far, 14 innings total. 11 hits, 9 runs, 25 strikeouts for him, though, compared to 10 walks. So He's allowed a few base runners in terms of walks, in terms of hits, but the strikeout numbers really speak for themselves. And when Laird is hot, he's really, really hot. The times where he's having a bit of trouble finding the zone, he can get a hit around a little bit. But in a tie ball game, the Majors hoping for the best from their pretty consistent, hard-throwing lefty.
He will face the bottom of the order, and he will face two left-handed hitters, barring any substitutions for Josh Matlow. It'll be Adam Odd, Wandy Cyprian, and Brandon Hernandez, lefty, righty, lefty for the Baycats here in the top of the ninth. Skylar Janice was getting loose, has now sat down, and Laird will get the inning after a really strong 2 innings from Miguel Sereno.
Love that shot we just got of Laird there. Obviously one of the more passionate players on this roster, and I think even that is an understatement.
I think so. First pitch cut out and missed by Odd. It's 0-1. You know he's probably got all the juices flowing here in front of a big crowd on Canada Day.
We've seen it a few times. He's not only passionate out there, he is physical and he is vocal at times as well. A lot of fun to watch on the mound.
0-2 here on Odd. Laird's one blip on the radar came in a game against Guelph back on May 31st. 0-2. Here's the pitch. Popped foul. We will try it again on 0-2.
Yeah, so you heard that inflated ERA that we mentioned there. But that being said, he's only let runners in on 3 occasions. 3 games so far in the 10 games that he's played. But when he's gotten hit pretty hard, unfortunately for him, which puts a damper on all those clean innings we've seen. But hopefully,
this strike 3 right there gets Odd to chase a breaking ball, and there's 1 out in the 9th.
A big example of what he can do when he is red hot. Can really mess with the timing of these batters. Obviously, some great velocity from him. So when he's able to just take a few notches off that fastball, throw something a little bit slower in, it really can mess with lefties or righties in the box.
Wandy Cyprian will step into the batter's box here for the Barrie Baycats. The catcher without batting gloves in the ball game. Swing and a miss, big swing, comes up empty, 0-1. Now, Justin, I don't know this to be a fact, but I think that Cyprian had batting gloves to begin the ball game and then took them off in a later plate appearance.
I think you are right. Sometimes it's just little superstitions, little quirks. Sometimes if you're like, oh, maybe I had too much grip, or maybe, hey, I want to have a little bit of a change. In baseball, we've seen players shave between innings when they're trying to get a streak going. So something like taking the batting gloves, not terribly foreign in the sport.
That pitch sails high there from Laird. It is 1-2 now. One ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Lefty Laird on the rubber. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball, Cyprian in the air center field. Bernie has a beat on it. Now moving in, makes the catch, and there's 2 away in the top of the 9th.
Pretty efficient so far from Laird. Strikeouts, flyouts. He's got the stuff in terms of limiting some of these runs.
Brandon Hernandez will step into the batter's box here as Laird gets set, trying to end the inning. 2 quick outs on just 8 pitches. Lefty righty, here's the offering. Swing and a miss, strike 1.
Great stuff from Laird on the mound so far. Again, that velocity, one of his biggest tools. His efficient delivery really caters to that as well.
0-2 count here on Hernandez. Laird trying to put him away and send us to the bottom of the 9th in a tied game.
You want to get this batter out right now. Do not let the top of the order come back around again. Don't give any life if you have to. If you're Laird, you just want to shut this down nice and quick.
The 0-2 pitch. Strike 3 called. Laird freezes him, ends the inning. A terrific 9th for the left-hander, and we go to the bottom half, tied at 4-4.
What great stuff, what great pitching performances we've seen here across the board, whether that be Garces for the Baycats, Payano, Sereno, and now Laird. Some lights out stuff.
Well, the big question here going into the ninth inning, Justin, is are we going to see a new arm coming into the ball game? Nobody headed to the pitcher's mound just yet, and it certainly appears that we will now, as a right-hander getting checked on by the first base umpire. It appears to be Oscar Moretta, who was loosening up earlier in the ball game.
I believe you are right. I think it is Oscar Moretta. A 4.97 ERA on the season. Pretty similar in terms of the stat side, the number side to Laird, the pitcher we just saw. 10 games so far, 12 2/3 innings pitched, 13 hits, 7 earned runs, 16 strikeouts on the year as well. So a bit more reliant on the defense comparatively with Laird, but pretty similar makeup. His one job right now is to shut down the majors any way he can.
Trying to send this game to extra innings. Majors trying for some heroics. They've been shut down by Frank Garces since the second. Garces worked 8 innings, allowed 5 hits, 4 runs. Presently, all of them earned. You could make the case that some of them shouldn't be after the error was committed on the drop pop-up before Adam Thuss went deep. As you get a look at the numbers for Moretta this season. The majors will send up 6, 7, and 8 in their order. It'll be Tucker Zadunik, Jarrett Burney, and Adam Thuss. Zadunik has been held hitless by the lefty Garces. Curious to see if the right-hander is any easier for Zadunik.
We're getting to the part of the order that's been productive for the majors so far in this contest. Obviously, big contributors in that 4-run second inning a bit earlier on. 3 hits in that inning, but have really been pretty much shut down since. Majors looking for them to replicate things here at the do-or-die time in this one. Would love to send this crowd home happy in the bottom of the 9th.
So Zadunik will step into the batter's box. 0 for 3. 2 strikeouts in the ball game. Crowd getting into it here, trying to cheer on Zadunik and the majors.
Crowd really getting into it now.
Majors trying to send the fans home happy on Canada Day. Zadunik laces this one right field. It's a great start. Tucker Zadunik has a leadoff single, and London is in business.
It may seem like this team just needs 1 run, but you really got to chip away any possible way you can. Anyone on base, anyone in the batter's box has the opportunity to do what they got to do. But you can't overdo it. Just trust in the man behind you. Keep that train going long enough, and suddenly this game's changed.
Jarrett Burney in the batter's box now for the majors. Gave them the lead back in the second with an RBI single. We'll see if he squares to bunt to move Zadunik up here. Moretta ready on the rubber. Burney squaring early. Pulls back, ball 1.
Obviously, it's pretty tense bottom of the 9th, a tie ball game. Just a 1-hit difference between these two teams, but Burney squaring up right there really shows to the real team mindset, the cooperation between these players.
Squares again, gets it down to first base, rolling down the line. It's a fair ball, and it's a sacrifice bunt. Macabrota had to play it, and the bunt works to perfection for Jarrett Burney.
A beautiful bunt down the first base line. I think everyone was thinking, is that one going to teeter or totter with the line? But held true pretty much all the way towards that first base bag. Great shot to advance the runner, and now you got one in scoring position.
Adam Thuss will step into the batter's box now. A 3-run home run back in the second inning that gave the majors a 4-run lead. A single could win them the ball game. The outfielders are in, trying to prevent that from happening. First pitch up and in on Thuss for ball 1 as the crowd reacts to that one.
Obviously, Thuss has a lot of potential here. That big 3-run bomb back in the second. If you're Barrie, you don't want to let that happen 2 times in the same game.
Thuss comes up empty on that swing. It's 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Moretta ready on the rubber. Here's the offering. In the air. Right field, shallow. Out goes Hernandez. In comes Figueroa. It's the right fielder Figueroa making the catch, and that's a pivotal second out for Oscar Moretta.
Tough one there. If you're Thus right there, you gotta try and get that one a little bit further, especially if you're hitting over towards right. Gives Zadunik the chance to hustle it over towards third and put that game-winning walk-off run 90 feet away. Instead, it was a little bit too shallow. Zadunik still over at second. And now 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th.
David Dreyers into the batter's box for the Majors. First at-bat of the ball game, came in as a defensive replacement. Waves at that one and comes up empty. Now, time called here. A baseball has come on the field out and right. That's the 3rd time that's happened today. An errant game of catch. 0-1 count here on Dreyers. Crowd trying to root on the home side. Fouled off, 0-2. No action in the Majors bullpen, which would indicate it would be Zach Laird's 10th inning. Should we go to extras?
Dreyer's a big at-bat right now, the 24-year-old. 232 on the season so far. Hit 1 home run, 4 RBIs on the season as well.
0-2. Inside, it hits him. 0-2 hit by pitch. David Dreyers reaches base, and Michael Escato comes to the plate.
One of the key guys you want in an at-bat like this, the hits leader across the CBL and with the Majors. Walked in his last at-bat, but would love his first hit of the ball game to be one that could potentially walk things off.
Escato has some power in that bat, but right now a single that is well placed could win the Majors the ball game. Wanted it there. A little over aggressive. Chased the breaking ball out of the zone.
Outfielders shifted in a little bit. We'll like to call no doubles defense. Would love to be shallow enough to try and make a play at the plate if they have to.
Oh, 1 count. Moretta to Escato. Fouled straight back. 0-2.
Escato, some great contact abilities to say the least. A lot of hits, but does not get a whole lot of RBI opportunities, being the go-to trusted leadoff man.
Majors 2 for 6 with runners in scoring position in this game. 0-2, 2 out. Waiting run at second base. The pitch to Escato. Fouled off by the Majors shortstop. He stays alive.
Great at-bat so far, good battle. Obviously, any pitch that is remotely near the edge of the strike zone, you gotta swing at. You don't want to strike out swinging in a big opportunity like this, or strike out standing, no less.
2 on, 2 out. The only runner that matters is Zadunik over at second. Moretta ready. The 0-2 pitch. Inside, it misses. Ball 1.
That's a gutsy take right there. That is an incredibly professional take in the batter's box with 2 strikes, 2 outs. Would love to pay off a hold like that, the restraint like that, with a nice little bloop to the outfield.
Or more.
Or more. Indeed, indeed.
1-2, 2 out. Here's the pitch from Moretta. Just misses. Doesn't get much closer than those last 2. Count now 2-2.
A ball on the count, but a strikeout in the box up here.
Fans pulling their phones out, hoping for some dramatics. 2-2, 2 out. The pitch to Escato on the way. Chopped towards third and foul. We'll try it again on 2-2.
What a battle. What an at-bat we're seeing so far. Michael Escato doing everything he can to keep this alive, waiting for a pitch down the middle, waiting for a little bit of a mistake in the zone to turn on.
Zadunik at second. He is the winning run. Escato in the box. The pitch. Ripped. Cut by Odd. Escato nearly had a game-winning single, but Adam Odd perfectly placed to make the catch and send this game to extra innings. We're off to the 10th here at Labatt Park in a game tied at 4-4 here on Canada Day. You're watching the Majors and Baycats live on Majors TV.
Stand out this season with the Jersey Acrylic Trophy, starting at just $15.95. Fully customizable with your team's logo, colors, and player details, and double-sided for twice the impact. A custom plate can be attached to the base for personalized engraving on each trophy. Great for player recognition. Ideal for keeper awards, participation trophies, or end-of-season celebrations. Order yours today at Nuthers.com or call 1-800-265-1554.
Obviously, the city loves you. The city adores you. You're a fan favorite across the board. How is it dealing with that much pressure, being in that celebrity spotlight everywhere you go?
Perfect. That's good enough.
How do you stay so fit and lean on a regular basis? Nice. I like that. Running's very important. Cardio. I'm not confident on what that is. Oh, yeah, there you go. I can appreciate that one, 100%. And I guess last personal tip, everything aside, how do you keep the beard so nice and well shaved consistently? I can never seem to get as good a one as you. Like, are you talking like a cream or an oil, something like that? Okay, perfect. I incredibly appreciate your time. Thank you so much for talking with me today. Excited for the season, huh? Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun.
10th inning here at Labatt Park. Extra baseball here on Canada Day. Free baseball here on Canada Day. Zach Laird back out for his second inning of work here for London. The lefty was terrific in his first inning in the 9th. Brandon Hernandez will be the extra innings runner over at second base here in the 10th, and Kenise Ijo, the top of this Barrie order, will greet Laird in the 10th.
Tough spot to get to, obviously. A lot of damage can be done when you turn things back over to the top of the order, but the one bright spot is this is the first time they are seeing Zach Laird in this contest, their first go-around. Hopefully that plays in Laird's favor. Obviously did pretty well, like you mentioned, at the kickoff of the last inning. 2 strikeouts and a flyout.
First pitch to Kenise Ijo misses for ball 1. Ijo looking for some redemption for himself. He is 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts in the ball game today. 3 against Payano, 1 against Sereno. The pitch. Misses, 2-0. Now Laird is a big strikeout guy, so in an inning where you don't want to give up too much contact and allow your opponent to push the runner home from second, that is a benefit that Laird offers. That pitch there for a strike to Ijo. It's 2-1.
It obviously can come with its pros and its cons. If you got the command with a velocity like that, you can get a lot of damage done. But if you have the velocity like that, believe a cookie down the middle, you're giving that much more velocity that can turn into that much more power off the bat. So it can be a bit dangerous, but he's been playing pretty well with it so far.
Goes to the off speed there. It's fouled off by Ijo. 2-2. Action in the Barrie bullpen. Carlos Sano beginning to get loose. Sano, one of the premier relievers in the CBL. Would put him in the category of a Davy Mendez, of a Skylar Janice as well. 2-2. Oh, just missed the inside corner. Came close but didn't get the call. Count runs full now on Ijo.
That's a tough one. Obviously, it's tough to see the exact sight lines up here, but that looked like a similar pitch to ones that we've seen earlier in this game that have gone the other way. So a tough call that forces a full count.
3-2. Hernandez over at second. Here's the pitch. Fouled straight back. We'll try it again on 3-2.
Good job by Ijo to keep that one alive. A little bit tough in a spot like this in a full count where you want to take swings at all those borderline pitches, but you are just one ball away from getting another guy on base, making it that much more dangerous of an inning.
3-2, swing and a miss, strike three. Huge punch out from Laird. It's the 5th strikeout of the game for Kenice Ijo. And there's one out with a runner at second base.
So now 1 1/3 innings for Zach Laird, but his 3rd strikeout already. 4 in a row sat down in a pivotal part of this game.
Edgar Figueroa will step into the batter's box here for the Baycats. The 2 top teams of the CBL this season duking it out tonight on Canada Day, and it has not disappointed. First pitch misses, it's ball 1.
It's games like this, as close as this, in front of a hometown crowd, where for a pitcher like Zach Laird, this could be a big defining moment on your presence for a lot of these fans if you're able to come in clutch and shut things down in a key spot here.
2 balls, no strikes, as that one sailed high on Laird, who will take his time in behind the mound to reset here. Figueroa, 2 for 3 on the day. He's done well for himself so far. A single would likely score Hernandez from second. 2-0. Oh, that one couldn't have missed by much. It's 3-0.
That exact spot has been a little dicey today in terms of where those pitches are getting called. That one looked pretty similar to the other one that was also ruled a ball on Laird. So at least a little bit of consistency there, I guess you could argue.
3-0. Hitters count for Figueroa. Inside corner, strike 1.
Good to battle back there. Good heads up. It looked like Figueroa wasn't going to be offering at a pitch inside right there. Didn't really show much in terms of turning on it. I wouldn't be shocked if Laird tried to go back there with this next one.
Strike 2, same spot. So from 3-0 to 3-2. Zach Laird against Edgar Figueroa here in the 10th inning. 1 out in the frame. Hernandez, the extra inning runner at second base. Laird readies on the mound. Delivers the 3-2 pitch. Called strike 3. Freezes him on the outside corner. 2 out.
Lights out stuff. What a battle. The mental toll it takes to battle back from a 3-0 count as a pitcher is a daunting task at times. But to not only battle back, but to still get the strikeout. Incredible stuff on a pretty major night here in front of this hometown crowd.
Francisco Hernandez in the batter's box now. 3 for 4 in the day. A double on the evening as well. Last year delivered a big home run in extra innings for the Baycats in this ballpark. Hoping for similar magic tonight. Zach Laird trying to keep the good times rolling. Breaking ball, strike 1.
Tough matchup right here. The lefty versus the righty in the box. If you're the Baycats, this is what you want. Gives Hernandez a big opportunity to try and turn something here. Cash in that run at second.
0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Challenges him with a fastball, and Hernandez comes up empty. Zach Laird, 2 strikeouts in the inning. 4 in this outing. Has Brandon Hernandez at second. Francisco Hernandez in the batter's box. Looking to strand the extra innings runner in scoring position and give his team a chance to walk it off on Canada Day. Laird ready on the rubber. The 0-2 pitch in the air. Right field, shallow, gonna be a tough play. Out goes Anoa. He's got it, and the inning is over. Zach Laird is fired up, and why not for the Majors lefty? He walks off and gives London a chance to walk this one off in the bottom of the 10th inning.
6 up, 6 down, 4 strikeouts. Have a game, Zach Laird.
Zach Laird, terrific in his 2 innings of relief. We talked at the beginning of that inning of what a guy with a strikeout profile like Zach Laird can do in that spot. You don't want any contact. And Zach Laird hardly allowed it. A bloop into shallow right that Christian Anoa was able to track down. And now, after the Majors go with their power lefty for 2 innings late, the Baycats turn to their power righty for the bottom of the 10th. It is Carlos Sano.
Dangerous spot. Obviously, you got 2 flamethrowers from each side right now. Dangerous stuff between the 2. We've seen some aces. We're seeing some standout work from the bullpen as well. It's exactly the move you would predict if you're the Baycats. It's exactly what you had to be thinking about if you were the Majors as well. Should be some tough matchups, but what a game, to say the least.
Top 2 teams in the CBL facing off, and it has felt like it so far. Bottom of the 10th inning, Carlos Sano, 2.25 ERA this season, 10.5 strikeouts per 9. He's been terrific across his 12 innings of work. The Majors will send up 2, 3, and 4. Michael Escato will be the extra innings runner over at second base. Christian Anoa will lead things off. Trent Lenahan will follow him, and Starling Joseph is due up third here in this inning.
On paper, it is the exact part of the lineup you want to get to. Your consistent, potentially power-hitting guys at this part of the lineup. Obviously, it's been a little bit tough early in this game, but it just takes a pitching change, a bit new of a dynamic on the mound to really get things going if you're the Majors here. And sending up a guy like Christian Anoa is a good way to get things started.
Christian Anoa will step into the batter's box here for the Majors. Escato standing at second. Tied game here in the 10th. Baycats could not move Hernandez from second in the top of the 10th inning. We'll see if Anoa lays a bunt down here. He has done so before. Squares, pops it up, foul.
It's going to be a little bit dicey if the Majors want to elect to go with some bunt situations here to advance Escato from second. Obviously, with that much power, if the ball's a little too high or a little too low, that can be sent right up in the air and end up, instead of being a bunt, be a pretty easy out. So a bit of a risky spot, but could pay off if they're able to lay down a bunt successfully.
Early square from Anoa here. 0-1. Gets it down, rolling. It's going to be foul. So unable to get the sac bunt down as the count moves to 0-2 on Christian Anoa.
I love the headspace from the Majors here. We know how good Anoa is at getting some solid contact. But to have the team-based approach in terms of, okay, I'm willing to bunt, sacrifice to try and get that runner 90 feet closer to walk this thing off, and takes a lot of restraint, but just shows how good this core is for the Majors this season.
Anoa squaring again on 0-2. Corners crashing. They'll throw to second. They got Escato. They picked him off. He got too far off the bag, and there's one out in the 10th inning.
It's a tough one. You knew that's what the Baycats were starting to think about. They got to hold that runner over at second. Escato was getting a little jumpy over there, a pretty solid lead. And when you get that far, you got to start getting the mindset of, hey, do I try and throw this guy out at 2? Ended up paying off for them here.
Well, Anoa has an 0-2 count. He surely won't be bunting on this pitch. His bat goes flying again. Look out down there. He fouls this one off and stays alive in the count against Sano.
Yeah, like you mentioned, their second time that bat has come loose from his hands. Don't know if it's just not enough tack on there, not enough pine tar. Glove's getting a little bit too loose. It's got to be something, but in any case, still alive in this at-bat.
Well, Anoa trying to get on to give the Majors a base runner with a big bat of Trent Lenahan on deck. But behind the 8 ball here, 0-2 in the count after a couple of failed bunt attempts and then a pickoff. The complexion of this inning has completely changed. Sano delivers. Inside, doesn't quite catch the corner. 1-2.
Can see what he was trying to do, find that inner part of the plate. That's worked well for some of these batters so far, but a little bit too far inside to force the batter back.
1-2, fouled off. Try it again on 1-2.
Good effort here. Would still love that runner over on second, but a good battle from Manoah, shifting from bunt, bunt, bunt to foul, foul, foul.
Lefty loosening in the Majors bullpen just in case. Appears to be Dusty Davidson. 1-2. Inoa held off. They'll appeal down to first, and it is 2-2.
Great pitch mix from Sano, just not able to get Inoa to bite.
2-2. 1 out, Inoa working the count here against Sano. The offering. Fouled off. Continues to battle. Make it a 7-pitch at-bat. Soon to be 8 for Christian Inoa.
Some impressive stuff in a few at-bats now towards the end of the game. Takes a lot to stay in a battle like this. Again, starting in the pitcher's favor in the count and trying to work things back if you're the batter. Takes a lot, takes a toll.
2-2. High, ball 3. Inoa keeps the battle going.
Still a tie ball game, but the Majors itching for a bit of life this inning in particular.
The 3-2 pitch. Ball 4. What a plate appearance from Christian Inoa, who works himself a walk after falling behind 0-2 on 2 bunt attempts. And the Majors have a 1-out base runner for the big bat of Trent Lenahan.
Win or lose, if you are Roop Chanderdat, you got to be happy with some of these at-bats that you have been seeing. Earlier on, some strikeouts have been a bit tough earlier in the season for some of these Majors batters. And that takes a lot to be able to not only force a walk, but to come back again, being down in the count, to work it back in your favor and find a way on base.
First pitch to Lenahan, misses, ball 1. Inoa has some speed over at first. Sano a long look in. Peeks over at Inoa. Here's the pitch. That one finds the zone, and it's 1-1.
First pitch of the at-bat was away to Lenahan, very similar to what we saw earlier on from Garces. Second pitch, a bit more on the plate. Might give Lenahan a little bit more to work with, depending on where Sano goes in the zone.
The 1-1. Lenahan fouls it off. 1 ball and 2 strikes now to the power-hitting Majors corner infielder.
Could see Lenahan shaking his head a bit on that one. He knew he was a little bit late, one that he probably could have turned on if he was there a little bit sooner. But probably some of the best pitches that Lenahan has gotten in this game to try and get something going on.
1-2, 1 out. A long hold from Sano. He delivers. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. No, fouled off at the plate. Correction. Lenahan not done yet.
Still a chance here for him. Tough one, some good battles. Lenahan hasn't been able to contribute on the offensive side. We've seen him have a few flashes defensively. But But would love to have his first time on base be one that makes a big difference in a tie ball game.
The 1-2 pitch. Lenahan fouls it off, stays alive again.
You know, I love a good battle at the plate, but man, these are really adding some tension here to Labatt Memorial Park.
You know, a very conservative lead over at first. The 1-2. Lenahan stays alive again. Heads up down the right field line. My goodness. Yeesh. Good thing Forrest is down there.
Thank heavens Forrest is over there keeping everyone safe.
Do you think if it ever came to it, Forrest would just poke his head down to protect a fan?
I think he probably could. You know, you don't need to catch it. You just need to give a little pivot, get that head in the way, and you're probably saving a few people down there.
1-2 count. Throw over to first. Noah back with a dive. Could you imagine, Justin?
I know Rube Chanderdat would not be too happy if there were two of those in the same inning.
1-2. And time called here by the catcher, Cyprian. Not sure what he saw, but was very adamant. Oh, time was called at first, it appears. The first base umpire called time. Macabrota was saying it wasn't me. It was the
I didn't
umpire.
do anything.
1-2 once again. Lenahan, center field, sinking quickly. Ejo makes the catch. 2 out. He'll throw to first. Macabrota has it popped by him, but right there is Cyprian to back up the throw.
Good heads up from Cyprian there. You got to commend the Baycats in this inning for staying invested wherever they are defensively, keeping their head in the game, watching out for these plays, whether these be those that throw out over at second, that attempt over at first, moving around, covering defensively. There's a lot going on. These fans are obviously wickedly invested in this game. It can be a little distracting at times if you're the away team defensively out in the field, so they've done a really good job on just keeping a weather eye on everything going around them.
Starling Joseph into the batter's box here. He's 0 for 3 on the day, but what a time this would be to break through. Inoa at first. Here's the offering. Joseph takes a strike.
I know Starling won't be too happy about that one. You can see him say a few words, but would have loved that pitch to have gone his way.
Oh, 1 pitch. Joseph wanted that one. Comes up empty. 0-2.
Starling Joseph, a man who loves a big moment.
Oh, 2, 2 out. Winning run standing over at first base in the form of Christian Inoa. Sanoa peek over the left shoulder. Here's the pitch. Skips away to the backstop. Inoa will get to second base, and now the winning run is in scoring position after the wild pitch.
I feel like I just said there's a lot going on in this game, a lot to focus on late in it, and if you're the pitcher, there's a lot going on. It's very easy for the oddball to get away from you, but a dire time to have a wild pitch advance that runner into scoring position.
1-2 count with 2 away. Sano steps off the rubber. He wants a new baseball. Joseph in the batter's box. A single could win this game. Outfield is shallow. in case Joseph gets one through the infield. Crowd getting into it.
What a match this has turned into.
1-2 from Sano. Joseph, hard ground ball to the outfield. It's a base hit around third. Here comes Sanoa. He will score without a throw. Starling Joseph says, bring on the fireworks. He's the hero on Canada Day.
I just said it's a man who loves a big moment. And Starling Joseph wanted that big moment all for himself.
What a moment for Starling as he dances down on the field, delivers for the Majors in the home half of the 10th inning, walks it off, and sends these fans home happy. Starling Joseph, who loves this city and loves to play for this team, gets his moment on the biggest stage of the season. An RBI single to walk this one off on a 2-strike count. Unbelievable. The drama here on this Canada Day.
We knew it was going to be a battle going in, whether that be pitching, whether that be offense, and it held true from start to finish. But one thing you cannot expect is the capabilities of a player to come in these clutch spots. And Starling Joseph really shelled out when he had to in front of this hometown crowd.
Well, let's send it down to field level to our very own Evan Fredrickson, who has today's player of the game, and no real mystery behind it, Evan.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. Here with the player of the game, Starling Joseph. Starling, what an absolute team effort here this evening on Canada Day. What are the emotions you're feeling right now?
Oh, I feel amazing. We were working through it. Couple at bats, couple good at bats. The emotion is pretty high right now, and we get the job done. So I'm very excited. I'm happy, and let's go. Happy Canada Day.
What was your approach during your at-bat? You're up against a really tough pitcher in the Maple Leafs bullpen. What was your approach during your at-bat?
My approach was looking for fastball to give me a couple of speed. I was trying to keep it high, so he gave me the fastball. I'm happy so I can make the adjustment and get the base hit.
Starling, congratulations. Happy Canada Day.
Happy Canada Day.
Starling Joseph wishing everybody a happy Canada Day here at Labatt Park. What a moment for this Majors group, and what a moment for Starling Joseph. You know, he's been itching to announce himself back into the IBL this year, probably the CBL this year, as he makes his return to the Majors, and does so on Canada Day here at Labatt Park.
It felt like ever since his first at-bat here in 2026, we were saying, hey, he didn't play last year. We'll see if he has to work off any rust, and immediately made a difference, and it didn't take too long for him to make a game-making difference here in 2026.
Absolutely. The Majors offense was quiet after that second inning. Frank Garces shut them down. Victor Payano was terrific. The starts were great, but we would be remiss if we did not mention the performance of Zach Laird in the bullpen.
Efficient stuff, like we mentioned. 6 up, 6 down, 4 strikeouts on the night. Absolutely impressive, and put an exclamation mark on what was an impressive pitching performance across the board for the London Majors today.
You have to think for a guy like Laird, that puts him up a couple of rungs on the trust ladder in that bullpen. A guy who had a tough outing early in the year, but aside from that, has been dominant, and another example of it tonight.
As far as high-pressure situations go, this was a pressure cooker.
Yes.
It's a huge crowd, one of the biggest nights for the London Majors across every season, and to perform like he did on the mound is lights out. Incredible stuff from Laird today.
Well, the Majors walk this one off here on Canada Day, now take sole possession of first place in the CBL standings, a game ahead of the Barrie Baycats. The fans here in the ballpark will enjoy the fireworks. We hope that wherever you're watching from, you get to do the same. The Majors win this one here on Canada Day. We'll be back here at Labatt Park on Friday. For Evan Fredrickson down at field level, Justin Koehler here in the broadcast booth, and the rest of our outstanding Majors TV crew, my name is Dylan Baker. Have a great rest of your Canada Day.